Hello, hello. Here we are again, folks. Let me just change this for a second. There we go. There we go. How you all doing out there? Thank you for joining me once again for an interview with the FROSTS Part 2. They have come back by popular demand. They have been willing to come back Actually, they requested, and that's something we're going to get cleared because there have been allegations that I actually paid off the Frost family on the last interview. That is what Von Helton and his friends are saying, that I actually paid money out of my pocket to turn his family against him. And of course, if anybody saw the little treasure that Von Helton dropped on his Facebook, he's making all kinds of stark allegations against people, especially in his vicinity. So we're going to take a look at that and let the family respond. So we are going to do that. And then we're also going to field some questions. I had posted an opportunity over in the community for members to leave their questions. So I will pull some of those out and allow the Frost to respond if they wish to do so. And of course, anybody in the chat that has questions, I will do my best to catch them. It's hard to facilitate this and read the questions. If I see something that's pertinent to what we're actually talking about at the time, I'll try to throw it in. If not, at the end, I'll try to get everybody to repeat their questions, and I'll do my best to get them in. I'm not sure how long we're going to go tonight, folks. You never know with these kinds of things. I do apologize. I know some other people are planning some streams tonight around 8:30, 9, somewhere in there. So I'm not trying to step on anyone's toes. This is just when it works. But we're here for a good time, not a long time. So everybody can have a piece of the pie, so to speak. So I want to thank everybody for coming out. And we are going to bring up our cast of characters, so to speak. Let's see what we got here. Let's switch it over. So, of course, everybody's met M. Frost. How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Not too bad. Thank you for joining us. And we have J.M. Frost. How are you doing? Oh, don't hear you. I think you're muted.
Oh, there we go.
All right. Thanks for coming up. And we have someone else new. We have Ron Frost's mom. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing just fine, and there's a reason that I go by that name because he named me in one of his videos, and he called me Ron Frost's mom, whose name escapes me.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. All right, well, thank you guys for joining me. Now, Andrea had sent a message that she wanted to join in at some point. I'm not sure what's going on with that. If she does, someone can get her the link. She's more than welcome. And I'm not sure what Big Cousin Larry is doing, but if he wants to come in, he's welcome to as well. So we will handle all that. So first things first. So just so we're all clear, we brought it up last time, I did not solicit anybody that's on this panel. Is that correct? I have not paid anybody to come on and turn against Von Helton. Okay, no one really believes that, but I just thought we'd get it out there.
No, nobody has paid me to do anything.
Nobody's paid me either.
I wish. I'm college and I'm broke.
I wish I could, but I can't either. So I don't have that kind of money. But we, just to clear the record and get it on, out there. No, I'm not paying anybody to do this. Somebody's microphone, I'm not sure, must be near something because it's. I hear like a clanging, clattering. I don't know what's going on. Something's getting rubbed. Anyways, we'll deal with that. Yeah, you may want to mute unless you're talking. We'll deal with that. Yeah, because I'm getting it sounds like something's like I'm trying to duplicate the sound. If someone's moving something around on a desk or something near their mic, it's picking up like crazy. But
I'll try some headphones and see if that clears it in case it's me.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like some stuff's moving around. Yeah, that might be it.
Did that clear it up?
Yep. It was all you.
Yeah. Something was moving around near the mic, but we'll deal with that when we get that. If it happens again, all we do is mute till we talk, so it's not a big deal.
Okay.
But first things first, is anybody anything anybody wants to say before we get started? Or
Yes, I do. I would like to give y'all more background than you've ever had because I have known Mr. Helton since he was young. I grew up with his sister who, yes, he did tell the truth. She was not his sister. She was adopted. They were actually first cousins. And I can tell you that several people ask, I watched your video after the fact the other night, and several people ask, why has his mother done everything for him like she has? And I have the answer to that. When he was born, they didn't expect him to live. He had a terrible heart defect. And his mother is a very, very big Christian woman. And she took him to the church and had people lay on hands and pray and pray. And they did this for hours. And then they left. And the next time she took him to the doctor, they were amazed at the difference in him. And he survived, as we all can tell. But he's always been until now. He was always a scrawny kid. He was picked on. He was made fun of. And being her only biological child, that's why Alice has babied him and supported him and done all that she has for him. And it's just sad that he has taken all that and now treats her the way he does.
Yeah, yeah. No, and we've seen, even witnessed that on camera. Him calling her a, pardon the language, a bitch.
Yep.
F you, gives the phone the finger when she calls over. It's pretty sad. But we'll get into all that. But thank you for the background. And it's nice to have someone that was actually here. I guess my first question, is it true he used to deliver pizzas in a ninja outfit when he lived in Ohio?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, fair enough.
I can't imagine, first of all, I can't imagine any pizza company allowing him to do that.
That's true. That was always suspicious.
And I lived in Hamilton even before he did, and until 5 years ago when I moved down there with Ron and Marcia. I lived in Hamilton, and I got pizza delivered all the time from various places, and I never had him deliver pizza in a ninja costume.
Okay, fair enough. It was just some friends of his that had contacted me. They gave me a VHS tape of them all hanging out, and they called him the Scorpion Ninja. And they said the story behind it was he used to try to deliver pizza in a ninja outfit. But I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there, folks. We're getting the skinny here, so you're not aware of it. Fair enough. Yeah. So let's take a look here, because Mr. Von Helton had plenty to say about everybody. Here, I'll do it this way so we can all see each other. There we go. And I know for sure Marcia has already seen it, but we're just going to walk through it. I'll play a little bit. We'll stop it. If anybody has anything they want to say, they can speak up. I'll do my best to pause it. And let's just get into it.
Let's see here. I guess we're live. It's showing a blue. Y'all gotta go in tonight. I'm assuming we're already live. There we go. A little red sign says we are live, and it is so. And for this morning, hopefully my audio is up. Let me make sure my audio is up, because I do not want people to have a difficulty hearing me. Forgot to check my sound. Check my levels. Windows, for some crazy fucked up reason, wants to move my levels. Okay, back to 100. Check again. There we go. Bam. All right. Double checking that. But yeah. Good morning. Good morning, good people. And like I said, D-Day is fast approaching. The enemy is, of course, using pretty much anything they can to try and stop what is inevitable and what is coming. Let me just say briefly, live, because this is live. Hello, I'm live. I'm not. This is not a video. Let me say briefly that their plans have been foiled. Because their idea is, well, we'll just prevent his lawyer from doing anything. Dude, I can hire another lawyer. Use your brain. I can hire another lawyer, idiot. Oh, we'll get his lawyer. We'll influence his lawyer. Well, then you're a fucking moron, because all I got to do is go get another lawyer. Duh. Are you guys really that mental? Are you guys really that stupid? But anyway, I'm going to get another attorney because I need to. And that's just one of those things that has to happen. And the individuals in question that need to go to prison are going to go to prison. And that's just the way it is. My current attorney has had 3 years to throw just a handful of people in jail and has refused to do so. And so now I have to hire another attorney to throw these people in jail. And that's just the way it is. But that's okay. That's perfectly okay. I mean, he claims he's busy. And that's fine. But I've got to have people thrown in jail, and I can't wait no fucking 3 more years for it to happen. I've got to have it done now. So it's time to have the locals. Good morning, Ryan. It's time to have the locals thrown in jail. Those that need to be thrown in jail are going to be thrown in jail. and that's just the way it is.
All right. So first things first. My question is, who believes Von Helton ever had a lawyer to begin with?
I don't believe he ever had a lawyer. He might be referring to his mom's lawyer who won't give him the time of day anymore. And I have news for him. Unlike him, I did work for the court system. I was a deputy clerk of courts in Butler County in Hamilton, Ohio. He cannot just have a lawyer go arrest somebody. You have to take the information to the prosecuting attorney, who has to decide whether or not they think there's a case, which of course he doesn't have one. Just like he claimed he was exercising his Fifth Amendment right to freedom of speech, so are all of us.
Is that his talk from today?
And nobody ever said anything about turning his lawyer against him or turning the courts against him. I never heard anybody say any of that in your last live.
Right. Well, he's trying to imply that, there's this grand conspiracy amongst the family to turn the town, everybody on the internet, and now his lawyer against him. Now, he had been dropping hints that his lawyer, not hints, he's been dropping little things saying that his lawyer wasn't returning his calls and this guy didn't show up in court. As far as I'm concerned, the guy, he probably never secured the lawyer at all. And he just assumed this guy. It's just like he assumes that the way he talks in his videos, like he can just hire the right lawyer who could just write out arrests for people.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a leg to stand on to begin with. He has no physical evidence of anything that he's claiming that is happening. And to begin with, I have everything I want, and it's nothing over there where he's located. I don't need anything from that area. I have my own home, my own property. I don't need anything that he says we're trying to take.
Right.
I can also chip in that he later on in this same video, he claims about going back to Ohio and getting his father's assets. His father left nothing in Ohio. Everything was in his mother's name. She owned 3 nursing homes. She had multiple rental properties. And there's nothing in Ohio for him. His dad didn't leave anything. His dad became very ill. He worked for a company called Pease. And when he became disabled, he drew like $30-something a month. And they would go out to eat on that, him and Alice. And they laughed about it. And because he needed to get medical help, they got divorced because she was worth too much money for him to be able to get the help he needed. So they got divorced, and she bought the little house that he lived in, and he's the one who begged her to bring his son down there so he could spend time with him before he died. And she's been supporting him ever since.
Right. Okay. All right. We'll move ahead. And it's important to note too, guys, and I bring this up every once in a while, but someone just brought it up in chat. Don't for a second think that any significant majority of people believe anything Von Helton says. Anybody of an intelligence above probably, room temperature water would understand that the guy's a compulsive liar. And the only people that actually egg him on and support him are people that are using him for the drama to get views and stuff. They even know he's full of crap. So don't ever think that we actually believe there's a grand conspiracy to, turn the world against him. He's blamed me for getting a doctor to move to his state to charge him the first time. But we'll get into all that later.
That's funny. That's funny.
He actually claims that we got a doctor to move their practice, Dr. Del Mundo, who originally got charges pressed against him. But anyways, let's move on.
Because then I will use the proceeds from suing these individuals and throwing them in jail to go after the people on the internet and various and sundry other things. I still need to get my disability yet. I mean, there's all kinds of shit that I need to do. And so, yeah, that's basically what's going to go down. But you idiots that think, well, we'll just, we'll influence his attorney. Well, are you fucking mental? All I got to do is just get another attorney. Are you an idiot? You apparently must be, because all I got to do is just get an attorney that will throw these people in prison where they belong, because they don't belong out in society. They belong behind bars. And once these individuals are thrown in prison and my inheritance money is returned to me and all of my property is returned to me, and all of my mother's property is returned to me. Then once we have these people in prison, then we can go back and set up my mother's financial situation again through the bank manager and get all this shit done back the way it was before certain individuals and groups meddled in our affairs. And let's be clear. Let's be clear. Because the word is, well, Von Helton did this and Von Helton did that. No, I've been working under the tutelage of the bank manager. The bank manager is the one that has been doing these things. And wait till that bombshell drops in court. Won't that be fun? Won't it be fun when the bank manager gets on that stand and says, yes, I've been working with James Von Helton from day one? Won't that be fun? Won't that be neat? Because the current thing, oh, well, Vaughn did this and Vaughn did it. No, I've been working under the bank manager. The bank manager is the one that's been setting all this shit up. I just been doing it.
So I'm not sure what he's talking about, what he's been doing, but he's brought this up before, where he claims that some members of the family were messing with Ma's account, so they had to go talk.
Nobody.
Right, go ahead.
I can tell you this. Nobody has messed with Mom's bank account except for him.
Mm-hmm.
He had a video. I don't remember where it was at, but I seen the video, and his exact words were, I took that money out of the account that was Daddy's, and I opened it up, and I put it in my account.
Yes,
now, I know he has been told by the court system that he has to pay all that back, and he hasn't done it yet.
$30,000.
That's what we hear. So this is, and that's what I wanted to ask, because Larry brought it up a couple times, but we were having kind of some trouble communicating with him. So the court has recognized that he basically stole money, and he has been ordered to pay that back.
Yes, he's been told by the courts to pay that back, and he's not done so, from what we understand. And if he's under the tutelage of a bank manager, why was one of Alice's insurances lapsed to where Larry had to go back and pay the back payment to get it reinstated? Why did Larry have to go in and have her phone turned on? He had to pay almost an $800 bill to get her phones turned back on. A bank manager would have made sure all of that was paid. And if Larry wouldn't have gone in and paid the property taxes, he would have lost all that land that he says that the Frost family or the locals around here that are supposed to go serve 2 life sentences. You know, we've all got our own property. We don't want nothing he has.
Not to mention the fact that nobody's going to jail. And in the first place, you don't get 2 life sentences for anything that he accuses us of. Ain't none of us murdered nobody. That's the only thing you go to prison for life is if you murder somebody. We haven't done that yet.
It must be tempting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good thing I moved to Florida when I did.
Wow.
Because I used to live closer to him than the Frost there do. I used
2
to
houses
live
down.
2 houses down from him.
Wow.
And you know, that something came to my mind the other night. Ron was talking about how he had never had a problem with Vaughn. They, they're cousins. And when I first moved down there, and Ron and Marcia lived in the trailer, and I lived with them, his mom had got mad and had quit paying his cable and internet and all that. And so he was making his whatever he does on disc, and he asked Ron if he could come up there and upload them.
Yeah.
And Ron and Marshall let him come to their house, sit in their house, and upload his videos or whatever it was he was doing on their internet.
I remember that. He would come and download, and I'm like, what are you doing? He would come up with a flash drive or a disc, and he would use our computer and our internet.
Yeah, I remember when he was going to a family members and uploading videos a couple times a week or something.
That was us, and then I think it was even Jeff, and it might have even been Ray and Marlene at one point too. But yeah. But he has been to my house and uploaded videos, and I know of 2 other family members that also allowed him to do that.
Not to digress too far off, because I do want to get through the video, but it's just interesting you bring up, the things about the lapsed phone bill and the property taxes. Because when I was first talking to Larry, and he was kind of giving me a rough outline, because there was also some things to do with medication and doctor visits that weren't getting done and stuff. And I just found it really interesting, because around the same time that we found out this stuff was going on, Von Helton was making several quote unquote unboxing videos of new gifts and arrivals and all this nice stuff he was buying out of the blue without having money. Like it was daily. Amazon was delivering boxes full of toys, and not for his kids, it's Hot Wheels collection. And then he was flashing $3,000 to get the barn renovated. And
what barn renovated? What is he talking about?
Well, out back there's a barn, and he got it cleaned out and tables built, and he's got like a big Hot Wheels track and literally hundreds of Hot Wheels toys. He has a BitTube. That's the name of the website. And he has a channel. That's why he goes by Diecast Racing with Vaughn, because he does Hot Wheels videos. And literally,
he actually had this done.
Yeah, he's flashed $3,000 cash on camera and had people come up and clean out the barn, build him tables. And he's got a big racetrack and all these things. And
I don't remember seeing a lot of people over there doing any construction. Do you, Mom?
No, but there's been a long time since you, other than coming up the road to see the kids, you haven't really paid any attention to what's going on Alice's property.
No, because he's pretty much soured the water there. I don't want to be anywhere near him just because.
Yeah. The same with me. I used to go down there at least once a week and spend the day with Alice. And yeah, she might tell me the same stories over and over and over again, but I didn't care because she's old and she's lonely and she has nobody. I'm just so grateful that Larry's there to take care of her, that he's not afraid of that's another thing that irks me. His name is not Von Helton. His name is Irving Helton. That's his name. I've known him since he was little. I went to school with his sister. His name is Irving Helton. He went to court and changed it to James Von Helton.
No, for sure. No, I just find it interesting because let's be honest, the only one that has anything to gain by all this is him, right? Because and I'm just going to put it out there. It just seems to me that there's a narrative that's unraveling here. It seems like it's to his benefit if Alice is a little off kilter, maybe not knowing what's going on. And it seems like he's manipulating her when she's in this state, and he's skimming out of the money. Is basically, and he's sore. He's getting upset because, like he said, he doesn't want people to quote meddle in his affairs. He wants to be left alone so he can manipulate her into basically turning the property and everything, the estate, over to him, so he can liquidate it and squander the money on himself. Basically, it's pretty obvious that's what he's doing. Would anybody disagree with that? Or
no? Someone made a comment on the last live about him. If he has to sign these papers about the kids, he's not going to do anything that it says he has to do.
Right.
But when he got them back the last time, I was actually at the courthouse.
Right.
Because I'd never dreamed that he was going to get him back.
I'm going to set the phone down. Hold on. Okay.
The charges that was supposed to be against him, we all thought for sure he was going to jail. So I went so that I could drive his mother home. He ended up getting those kids, but he screamed and hollered all the way home about how they were taking his rights away from him and made him sign all these papers. And he was so loud and cursing, and those children were actually holding their hands over their ears. And he's already called me out on one of his other lives about. That's like I said, he called me Ron Frost's mother, whose name escapes me. Yeah, I admit that was me because I was the only other person in the car.
I've got Jen on the phone. You were asking if she was going to be there. Yes, he apparently did have somebody clean out the barn and do that for the racetracks or something. And he got rid of his mom's antique tractor.
Oh,
you remember the tractor? He sold that tractor, and the family's a little upset over that because that would have got way more than what he got out of it. It was an antique tractor.
That was her daddy's tractor.
I know it was his daddy's tractor.
So just to be clear, not only did he just get rid of it without her consent, he actually sold it out from under her for pennies of what it was worth.
Mm-hmm. And
Wow.
and I think that there was family members who had offered her more than what he got money for to try and buy it from her because it is worth so much more. It was a big antique Ford farm tractor.
Wow.
You can't get those anymore.
Just
Yeah.
the rabbit hole gets deeper and deeper. I want to thank Big Larry Frost for joining us, Larry. We're just muting if we're not talking because the echo gets too much.
I do have Jen on the phone. She is feeding me stuff. She is telling me stuff. And if you have a question for her, I have her right here.
Great, that's good. Have her stick around because someone had asked. She had mentioned a few things in comments, so we'll ask her some questions too.
I'll ask her if she doesn't care to go on speaker. But go ahead with what you were doing.
All right, we're just going to keep moving through this video because there is some just outrageous things that drops out of this guy's mouth. So let's move ahead.
Manager says, "Hey, what makes you think I should give you her financial affairs?" I said, "Well, let's see. I got 2 years of broadcasting arts, 2 years of business administration, and 2 years of real estate law. I think I'm qualified to handle my mother's financial affairs, right? Now, contrast that with the individual in question who by his own admission, didn't even graduate to 6th grade. Now, who would you want handling your finances? A business administrator or a 6th grader? It really is that fucking simple, folks. A moron could figure this one out, right? A moron could figure this one out. You got a business administrator in this hand. You got a 6th grader in this hand. Who do you want handling your finances, folks? Come on, let's be honest.
Apparently the 6th grader, because the 6th
moron.
grader's doing a better job than he was.
And he doesn't have he went to Southwestern Ohio College. He never finished. He doesn't even have a 2-year degree. I saw the paperwork because he still owed a student loan. Southwestern Ohio College closed, is no longer even there. So that's why he touts that he got that degree, because nobody can disprove him. And he never went to real estate school.
Right. Well, that whole thing about real estate laws, because one time in a hangout while he was upset at people in the chat, he grabbed an old dusty book from that shelf about Ohio real estate law. And so,
if I'm not mistaken, I think Glenda might have at one time been involved in real estate. Or that could have been Alice's from all the years that she owned rental property.
right. Well, just for transparency and fairness, folks, just like last time, I am right now sharing the link to Von Helton if he wants to come in and defend himself. We all know he won't. He's watching, though, and I'll give you each a turn to address him personally in a bit. But just to be fair, so he can't say that he didn't have a chance. I did supply the link, so he's more than welcome to come in and defend himself and stand behind his words. But we know he won't. He is the coward of Clay County, as I've dubbed him before. But we'll
Yeah, he'll wait till tomorrow and make his own live and call us all liars, but he won't do it to our face.
no. So let's play a little bit more of this.
Me over a 6th grader, right? So wait till that bombshell drops, because it will drop. Okay, it will drop, guaranteed. And like I said, hey, we got his attorney. We've convinced his attorney not to do anything. Okay, great, fine. I just go hire another attorney today, dummy. In fact, I've got my eye on one right now. You're going to prison, motherfuckers. You're going to jail, and you're going to stay there until you rot. Multiple counts, multiple life sentences. You will never get out. Never. You will never see the light of day. And then once I take care of you local motherfuckers, I'm going to go after the trolls and haters on the internet. And that's just the reality of the situation. That's just the way it is. Oh, but wait a minute. We influenced his attorney. We've got his attorney under our control. I just hire another attorney, dummy. Duh. I just hire another attorney this morning. You're a moron. All of you are morons. And yes, I know about the certain individual that went on the internet and said shit about me. I'm well aware of it. That person is going to go to prison too for elder abuse. You motherfuckers. You don't sit there and manipulate the elderly. That's a crime in the state of Kentucky, you fucking morons. You're going to prison for the rest of your natural lives.
So, does anybody have any idea what he's referring to? Anybody?
He thinks Larry is manipulating Alice when it's just the opposite. He's the one who has been manipulating his mother ever since her dementia got so bad. And not to talk out of sync, but the window that she went out of, y'all need to know that window is 11 to 12 feet from the ground.
Wow.
And
It is.
she crawled from the backyard to the front yard where she was when I got there. I was an EMT for 24 years. And Marcia called me and said, Mom, get down there. And Alice is on the ground. And when I got there, I'm like, what happened to your eye? She had the worst black eye in the world. She said, oh, I already had that because one of the girls hit me in the eye with a wooden spoon.
Wow.
Elder abuse? Yeah, okay.
Now, Larry, did you want to respond? Because it sounds like he's talking about you specifically. Do you know what he's talking about at all? I don't know. Big Larry's there.
Does he need to call do I need to call him on the phone to get an answer, or can he not?
I'm not sure what's going on there.
Well, let me see if I can get him on the phone, because if we can't hear him, he might just be able to hear us.
And in the meantime, someone was asking, does anyone know someone named Jim Combs?
Jim Combs?
Combs, maybe? Yeah.
I don't.
I think the firefighter's last name is Combs, I think. Larry may know. I don't know.
That's a horse of a different feather. Those people are con artists too.
Hi, what? Can you hear us on the video? You cannot?
Okay. In the meantime, someone wanted me to bring up the fact you brought up that you were an EMT. It's interesting because Vaughn thinks he was an EMT for 5 years. Are you aware of that?
He was never an EMT.
Okay. Well, it's just interesting because the more I learn about the family, it seems he's been pulling lies, like your pieces of everybody's life around him and making up a life.
I know he worked as an orderly at his mother's nursing home, but I don't know if he specifically went to school for that. I know that his mom had him doing that.
He was just being an orderly, and back then you didn't have to have any training except what they gave you hands on.
And I do have Larry on speakerphone. Larry, can you?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Millie and Jim are beeping in too. This is going to be interesting.
Okay. So, Larry, he was making claims that there was some elderly abuse or something. Do you know anything about that?
He's saying I'm abusing her.
How are you abusing her, though? But
mentally.
Mentally?
Yeah, telling her that Irvy's a bad person and that I'm trying to brainwash her into what I want. So
right.
That elderly abuse. And I'm going to tell everybody in the whole wide world, if it was up to me, I'd sell everything, go live in a high-rise apartment building, and have the butler bring me a T-bone up.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, fair enough. Well, let's move ahead a little bit here and see what else this guy has to say. He's a piece of work, isn't he, folks?
And you're going to rot there because that's where you belong. You do not have the right to manipulate the elderly into hating her son. You don't have that right. That's not a right, dumb fucks. You're going to prison for elder abuse, and there's not a damn thing you can do to stop it. Not one fucking thing. Not one thing. Not only are you going to jail for elder abuse, you're also going to jail for child abuse as well. But the elder abuse is the big thing. That's the brass ring.
So now child abuse as well. Does anybody have any idea what he's talking about?
Not a clue.
Well, I think in his twisted mind, if he holds you responsible for the kids being pulled away from him, in his mind that they're being abused by father. He used to actually claim that the CPS were taking his kids because they wanted to sell them to a Saudi Arabia pornography ring.
That's funny. I have Jim Frost on the line, and he'd like to say his piece secular, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Jim, you have the floor.
Yeah, my name's Jim. And Von Helton is a piece of crap. First of all. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep, loud and clear.
Okay. He talking about elderly abuse. Well, he cusses his mom out so much that the neighbors can hear it. And
Wow.
the day that we got into it, he had pushed her down, and her about 5 something. He pushed her down.
He pushed his elderly mother onto the ground.
Trip.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, you know, I've heard he's put me down so much and lie like a dog right to your face. Huh?
You're hearing feedback, Jim.
Yeah, okay, I hear it.
Is there anything else you want to say, Jim?
Well, as far as money, he went through her house and took everything out of there that had any dollar signs on it. He's got all her guns. Are you hearing it?
You're just
Well, I'll just leave my piece right there.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, we may want to talk to Jim again. There is some delay, so maybe next time he's on the phone, if he mutes the YouTube, because the YouTube is lagged behind us by so many seconds, so it won't add up. So he's hearing us in the past, kind of thing. But I want to thank him for that, and I just want to remind everybody, like, again, nobody believes Von Helton, and I know this has gotten to the point where you guys actually feel compelled, because you guys aren't internet people. I mean, the people that are used to doing this stuff, I mean, it's a hobby for us, and we're used to it, right? But we represent a very small percentage of the population. Most people are just living their life, right? But these people feel compelled to come on and tell their side because of the slander that Von Helton has been spreading across the internet. But I would just remind people, I know we get heated and we say things, and we mean them metaphorically or allegory or whatever the case may be, but we don't want to get violent. We don't want, we're not, I don't think anybody actually we may want to hit Von Helton, but I don't think anybody plans to do anything violent. I just want to make that clear. So we want to, because he'll try to twist that in the video and say, see, they're threatening me, and how it is. So
If anybody had a right to have hurt him in the past, it would be Jim. Jim is my son's uncle.
Mm-hmm.
And he and his wife, Millie, took care of Alice for years. They took her to doctor appointments. They took her to the grocery store. Millie helped her make out her bills. And they were there for her all the time. And it has gotten so bad that it's even including them that they just won't go down there anymore. The only one who's not afraid of the idiot is Larry. Because like Larry says, I ain't afraid of going to prison.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't want to go to prison. I don't want my son to go to prison. And I don't want Jim to go to prison. Jim was
We don't want anybody to go to prison.
Jim was my brother-in-law. And him and Millie have been nothing but good to Alice. And I know he has bad-mouthed Jim in the past. Bad.
Right. I guess the question, too, is like, why is this guy not in jail? I mean, why is
You want to know that? We've been wondering that same thing.
I have the answer to that, because every time they bring him up on charges prior to now, she has paid him out.
Mm-hmm.
Just like when they took the kids the last time, she paid so that he could get those kids back. She paid the lawyers. She paid the fees. She paid it all. That's why he's not in jail, because she has bailed him out and paid him out of every mess he's ever got in.
Well, I have to say that's actually, I've witnessed Von Helton treat his mom bad, and I've seen him do some really scumbag things, but I got to say that's the first time I've actually heard anything about him actually putting his hands on Alice, like pushing her down and yelling so loud that the neighbors could hear. Because we're not talking, folks, we're not talking, apartment building or condos or urban area. These guys live way the heck out in I don't want to name the area, but we all know it's the hills of Kentucky here, folks. Like it's not like
holler. And if anybody knows the definition of a holler, you stand out on your porch and you have to holler to your neighbor, because it's at least a 10-minute walk to your neighbor.
Wow.
And I'm not lying on that, am I, Mom?
Nope, not at all. Like,
I'm the
from
person that lives directly across the street. It would take us at least 5 minutes to walk from Irvy's door to their front door. At
Wow.
least 5 minutes.
and that person that lives across the street is a professional person who won't be involved. But, you know, when they say they've heard nonsense, it's bad.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just somebody trying to make stuff up. This is a professional person.
Right. Oh, for sure, for sure. Wow. Okay, well, let's get through this a little more.
All right. And that's just the way it is. You dumbasses think you won because you influenced my attorney? Really? You're a moron. I just hired another attorney this morning.
So just so we all know how Von Helton's, I mean, I'm kind of preaching to the choir, but how his mind works, I can already deduce what actually happened. The lawyer won't answer his calls and does not take them seriously. So in his brain, he's deduced that obviously the family must have contacted the lawyer and turned him against him. That's what he's thinking, right? That's exactly what his logic is here.
Yeah.
So he has no actual evidence that anyone's done anything to turn a lawyer against him. He's just...
Probably the truth of the matter would be, in my opinion, that he doesn't have any money to pay a lawyer, and nobody's going to take his cases because all they got to do is talk to him for 5 minutes till they realize he's mental.
Yeah, he's living on planet. I'm gonna let this play for a minute, and I just got to freshen my drink. I'll be right back.
As soon as it fucking hits 8 o'clock, I'm hiring another attorney, bitch. What are you gonna do now? What are you gonna do? I just hire another attorney. Duh. I'm an idiot. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. You're a fucking moron. So I just I just get another attorney this morning. That ain't no big deal. But you motherfuckers are going to prison, and there's not a damn thing you can do to stop it. Elder abuse is a felony in the state of Kentucky. Automatic felony, motherfuckers. You're going to jail for multiple life sentences. You will never get out. You will never see the light of day. Ever. Was it worth it? Was it worth it? Is it worth serving multiple life sentences in prison for what you've done? I hope so, because that's what's going to happen. So I hope so. You guys are idiots, man. And anybody hanging around you needs to distance themselves, or they'll be swept up in the net right along with them. I mean, there is this thing called accessory after the fact. You might want to look that term up, folks. Accessory after the fact. I can give you a link if you like. I can post a link down in the comment section if you like later on when it's done. But yeah, we're gonna influence his attorney. We're gonna do that. We're gonna use black magic to stop him. We're gonna influence his attorney. We're gonna pay off everybody in fucking Clay County and fucking state of Kentucky even. We're gonna pay everybody off. And we're gonna influence his attorney. And we're gonna use black magic.
All right, so now he's just moved into crazy town. So everybody, JM Frost, you've been pretty quiet. Just admit it. You are the one that's been using black magic on Von Helton to turn his lawyer against him, right?
I don't even know what black magic is.
Okay.
You know, I got this to say to Vaughn because I got some things I need to do and I need to get off of here. But if I had any knowledge of anything to do with black magic or how to use black magic, I would not be sitting here having fought cancer 3 times. I would have used black magic to heal myself. So the only idiot involved in this is you. And people don't go to prison for life sentences unless they've killed someone. Get a clue. It was nice talking to y'all. I'll catch you later.
Thank you very much. Yep.
I'd like to know where we're getting all this money to pay off all of these people, because if we had that amount of money, we sure as hell wouldn't be living in Clay County, Kentucky.
Yeah. Well, apparently you guys stole $6.5 million out of her closet, so.
Yeah, right. Whatever, guys. That is a that right.
I wouldn't be on live.
I wouldn't be sitting on live. I wouldn't be sitting in the middle of Clay County, Kentucky. I wouldn't. My freaking truck doesn't have a door handle on one side. I would have a new flipping vehicle. I mean, my kids wouldn't have to work every day if we had taken any of that money. You know? Come
Mhm.
on, guy. Get a clue.
All right, let's keep moving here.
And the gods are like, all for naught. It's all for nothing. Because we're just going to do an end run around your happy ass. And that's just the way it is, man. That's just the way it is. Sorry about your luck. And you and others need to be held accountable for what you've done to that poor ex-wife of mine who had her whole life ahead of her. She had her whole life ahead of her. And you destroyed her. And you need to pay for that. And believe me, the gods are going to make sure that you pay for that. Believe me. And notice, I didn't say me. I said the gods are going to handle that one. Because I can't technically do anything to represent her anyway. She's no longer my wife. But the gods can get you. The gods can get you. And they're going to. All right. Come into my house, steal shit right out of my fucking house, and think you're not going to go to prison? Really? Really? Are you a fucking moron? Are you a fucking moron? You're a moron. You think you're not going to go to jail because you paid off the fucking cops? You think you're not going to go to jail because you paid off judges and lawyers? You think you're not going to go to jail because you're using black magic? You think you're not going to go to jail because you've influenced everybody in the damn state of Kentucky? You think you're not going to go to jail? You think you're not going to go to jail for stealing my inheritance? You think you're not going to go to jail for badgering my mother the way you have and manipulating her? Man, I tell you, you must have balls the size of Mount Olympus if you think you're going to get away with all that. Because you're not. Because you're not. This morning, I will be contacting another attorney. And this attorney will be tasked with one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to make arrests. That is to make arrests. D-Day is here, motherfuckers. It's here. It's not coming. It's here. D-Day is here. And this lawyer's purpose, only purpose, will be to start running around making arrests. Period. End of story. And I'm sure they're going to want a hefty sum, but that's okay. That'll be worth it. That'll be worth it. And that's where we are. That's where we're at. And that's really all I got to say, to be honest with you. But I just find it almost hilarious.
I have Jim online, and he wants to say something to what James has said.
Okay, yep. And just let him know that just to mute YouTube because we'll be like way behind you trying to listen to it.
On your computer, Jim, you need to mute YouTube, and they can hear you. I have you on speaker.
On YouTube?
Yeah, on your computer, whatever you're watching it, just hit the mic button, and it'll mute you. That way you don't get the reverberation, and you can speak.
So we had it turned way down.
Okay, well, go ahead. Say what you need to say.
You know, he's talking about his inheritance.
Yep.
I'm the executor of her will. His mommy's will.
Mm-hmm.
This is Jim Frost. I am the executor of her will. And her will states that his 3 kids get everything. He gets $250 a month if there's anything left that he didn't steal. And he calls me everything in the world. I don't really care. But he will pay in hell.
Yep. I hear you there, Jim. Jim, while I got you on the phone, I just want to backtrack for a second. About the incident where he was yelling so loud the neighbors could hear, and he pushed his mother down. What was the circumstances surrounding that? Like, what was it? Do you know what they were fighting about? How long ago that was? Or
he was cussing around, I guess, and she told him to get off the property, and he said, "I don't have to," and I pushed her down, and that's what I got on it. And I got nose to nose with him, told him I was going to hurt him.
And how long ago was that?
Oh, it's been a few years.
Okay, a few years ago, but still, it's a demonstrate because, like I was saying before, I've witnessed him do like talk bad to her and stuff, but I've never known him to actually physically lay hands on her. Was that the only time, or?
And that wife of his that he's talking about, ex-wife,
Mm-hmm.
she left him for another man.
Right.
And first of all, she attacked my Aunt Alice.
Yeah, she did.
Mm-hmm. She did. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she hit her with her fists and everything else. And I told her, I said, you better never touch my aunt again. Now I'm a Vietnam veteran.
Mm-hmm.
And I was with the 101st Airborne. And when I went to Germany, they had me as a training officer. So I know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Jim, did Irvin ever complete his military career? Is he a green? There's people out there that say he's a Green Beret. Is he a Green Beret?
No, he was in Texas, and his sergeant, called my Aunt Alice and said, "Look, he has left the post. You need to come get him." He just barely finished basic training, and this Green Beret crap. He is the biggest liar in the United States. And
You're
in
okay,
fact, that's
Ron?
stolen valor.
That is stolen valor.
It is. Yeah, it is for sure.
It's stolen valor.
Yeah, and it's offensive to people that actually serve. It's interesting you brought up that story because, like, I've known Von Helton for quite a while. I mean, the first time I saw Von Helton, he actually had teeth still. So I've been around the corner here. And it's interesting because that actually came up years ago. People had said that he went AWOL on a post or he abandoned his post and got kicked out. So that actually is confirmed. Folks, here, you heard it here. The reason he got kicked out was because he abandoned his post, right?
Yeah, he walked off.
Yep.
And the sergeant called my Aunt Alice and told him to come get him.
Yep.
She went down and got him.
She had to go find him and then take him back to post, and then they did the paperwork to get him out.
Well, is there any more to that story? Like why or where where did she find him?
He was washing dishes at a restaurant somewhere off the post. That's what I got.
Well, the sergeant told her where to find him.
Oh, the sergeant did know? Yeah.
Yep.
So what he was he got a part-time job or he was in the military or something?
Yeah. He just walked off.
Wow.
It's called AWOL.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is a court-martial offense, AWOL, isn't it?
Right, but see, my Aunt Alice paid some money
To keep it honorable.
He doesn't have an honorable.
It's an honorable with it's a general with honorable mention.
I don't even think he has that on his DD-214.
Okay.
It's an RR3. It's like I think it's called an RR3. So I don't know American military. I'm not even in the States. But I think it's called an RR3 or something.
I don't know.
What's called a DD-214.
No, the DD-214 would have whether or not he's got an honorable or general or.
It's a general. I think it's an RR3 or something like that. That's on his DD-214, meaning they didn't count it as dishonorable. They bumped it up to general for him, but he's kind of not asked to come back. He's just. Yeah. So,
nope.
Re-enlist. Someone's put re-enlistment code RE3. That's it. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, that means he can't re-enlist.
This means he can't.
Well, let me say it this way. He wanted to get benefits from the VA.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't even talk to him.
All right.
Because he didn't have enough time in.
Nope. You got to have time in service to be qualified for Veterans Affairs assistance for medical or anything of that nature. So
he's technically not even considered a vet.
Nope.
He's not even in the eyes of the government. Wow, that's crazy. I got a couple questions that are kind of flashing by here. People keep asking about the $30,000. We did cover that actually already, but just to touch on it again. So basically, as the story goes, there was money in Ma's safety deposit box. He dumped it out, admitted on camera that because he said it was his money, and the courts apparently recognized that that happened and ordered that he pay it back. Now, do you think that Alice is going to make him enforce that, though? Is that?
Well, I don't know, but you know, his dad worked for Peace Every Straight Door,
Mm-hmm.
and they put him out on medical retirement, just like they did my dad, and he got $54 a month.
The last few checks, Jim, was $25.50. I know I seen them because she had me do her banking to deposit them.
Well, my dad got $54.
Irvin was getting $25.50.
And so he's, Irby says that he got his dad's money. My dad didn't have no money.
Right. Right.
Sold her 3 nursing homes, supposedly for $1 million. Well, she sold it to her nephew, and she never got paid all of it.
Well, I got a question, and some people have been asking this as well, and we're kind of jumping ahead here because we still got some other stuff to go through. But since we have the executor here of the will, if the kids are not there and they're not in Vaughn's possession, what happens to Vaughn if Ma, heaven forbid, passes?
Well, first of all that property and stuff that he's talking about, he's going to lose into a trust fund.
Okay.
That trust fund, nobody can get into it but me until they're of age, like 18 to 21, and then they can split if they want.
So is the property to be liquidated and then put in a trust fund, or they just hold on the property till they're 18 and decide what they want to do with it? Or
property, it can't be sold because it's part of the trust fund.
okay.
And the only ones that can get anything out of it is me, the lawyer, and the kids when they get of age.
Okay. So I guess what happens to Vaughn if the kids aren't there?
Well, he's supposed to get $250 a month if there's any there. See, but he took all the money out of her bank accounts and stuff, so that can't go into the trust fund, so he don't get nothing.
But I mean, as far as like, will he be evicted? Like, who has standing on the land till the kids claim it?
He don't get none of that.
So basically, he's got to find a new place to live.
Well, yeah, that could be true. I got to get hold of the lawyer. You know, when something happens to Alice, I got to get hold of the lawyer, and we set up the trust fund. And with the will, he's supposed to get $250 a month, but if there's no money there, he can't get it.
Right. No, I guess what I'm getting at here is just it just becomes clearer and clearer that the only one that has anything to lose here is Vaughn Helton. See, the way I look at it is since he doesn't have position of the kids and an income coming in from state-funded money for looking after the kids, his only alternative is to scramble before Ma passes and try to get a hold of the estate. Otherwise, he's got $250 a month to live on and possibly getting evicted, right? Like, that's the reality of his situation right now.
But he sold all the money.
Right.
And he blamed, and this, somebody said, he said something about $25 million.
$6.5 million.
Huh?
$6.5 million and $30,000 are the two numbers floating around that we've taken from them.
Well, if I had that much money, I wouldn't be living in this little house I'm living in, and I'd be.
Wouldn't be living in Clay County, Kentucky. That's for daggone sure.
That's right, I wouldn't. But anyway, he don't know what he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
He just makes stuff as he goes.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the nature. Everyone, and then rest assured, everybody knows that. But and just a couple things just to address people in the chat. We did address the EMT thing when Ron Frost's mom was in here. She laughed and said, "No way, that never happened." Surprise, surprise, he's a liar. What else we got? Fourth time, so secretary can ask more. On the same question. Yes, I get that. Yeah, sorry, I'm just reading through. So we've covered the 30K. Somebody wanted to ask too. Vaughn claims that his father, and listen, this is not a dig at his dad. I know his dad actually did serve and was probably an admirable man. And
Big Irv serve in the military, Jim?
No.
Big Irving did not serve in the military?
He went to basic training.
No, not James, his daddy.
Oh, he was a World War II vet.
Yes, yes. And
he was on a ship, and he got shrapnel in his back from a Japanese aircraft.
Well, yeah, honorable man.
Yeah, he was a good man.
mm-hmm.
And but you know, he was weird turned just like Irving.
Yeah, he was a little quartail, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was queer. Tail.
Quartail.
A little off.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. How was the relationship between him and his dad?
To the VA.
Do you remember,
For anything.
Jim, do you remember Big Irvin and James's relationship? Were they close?
No.
They were not?
No. Uncle Irvin was out in the yard, out in the field, plowing with a rototiller, and James was sitting in the trailer laughing at him. So I went and knocked on the door, and when he come out, I grabbed hold of him and told him, "Get out there and help your dad."
Right.
And Uncle Irvin would tell him, "No, you get hurt," so he wouldn't make him do anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have a video where Vaughn was laughing at the idea that he'd have to go out and cut the grass. He said his mom was the landlord, and that was her responsibility.
You know, he always said he can't mow grass because he's allergic to the sun.
Yeah, because he's a vampire, right?
Yeah, and he talking about the black magic and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, ask him about the pot or the jar he's got buried next door, or right next to his steps right there in his yard.
A jar?
My name on it.
A jar?
Yeah, he got a jar with stuff in there saying that going to have something happen to me that I was going to die because of that.
Who was? You are?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he's the one performing the black magic.
Yeah, he buried a mason jar with some stuff in it saying that he put a curse on me and then I'm going to die.
Well, that's funny because he just made a big video saying that he's a white witch and he'd never do that.
Oh.
Well, he put hexes on all of us, and I have to say the only thing that happened to me so far is a small dwarf grew out of my back, but the doctors removed it. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, he'll stand nose to nose with you and lie.
Oh, yeah.
That make you believe it.
Try to make you believe it.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, well, let's move ahead a little bit. I know we got more questions, but we'll get to them as we get to them. So let's see what else Lillard, because he makes some even more stark allegations coming up here.
Okay.
You think you're going to do all this shit and that it's going to change anything? No, it's not going to change a damn thing. What has been done, and what is said has been said because it was ordered of the gods. And you have no say. You have no say in it. None whatsoever. This was ordered of the gods before this shit even happened. Before a certain individual stepped into the backyard, raised his hands out and said, "This is all going to be mine." Before you even did that, the gods had established a plan to stop you. You understand that, right? You understand that? I hope so. I hope you do. Because y'all going down. Every one of you. Y'all going down. And there's not a damn thing you can do about it. Except get mad and get on the internet and talk shit. I mean, you can get on the internet and talk shit all you want, but it ain't going to change a damn thing because as of this morning, I'm hiring an attorney with one task and one task only, and that is to start rounding people up, starting having people arrested. That's his job. That's going to be his job, is to go around and start arresting people. Do you understand plain English, motherfuckers? D-Day isn't coming. D-Day is here. And the reason I'm doing this is because you have manipulated every motherfucking thing going on. Well, you're not manipulating nothing else. I'm not going to allow it. I'm done. I am done playing. I am done fucking playing. All right? And that's just the way it is, man. It's just the way it is. 16 FPS. Really? That's all? Should be higher than that. 13 now it says. Damn. Hope this shit don't turn out like shit, because I'll delete it and do it over with. I don't care. I'll delete it and do it over. Don't matter to me. Well, get Facebook to shut down your Facebook account. Like I give a fuck? Like I give a fuck? This is a temporary account any fucking way. Any moron knows that. This is a temporary account, man. This is an account set up
backyard.
so that I can get my message.
Sorry.
We know who the person he's talking about that stood in the backyard and said, "This wall be mine." That person that did that is already passed away.
Okay.
So I don't know. He's confusing his timeline and whoever he's thinking of, but that person has passed away because more than one family member heard that person say that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even going to clarify that with a name because he is no longer with us. He's passed away, been passed away for, oh my goodness. How long, Jim? At least 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
Probably more than 5 years.
Well, to be fair, this is Von Helton from a different timeline, right? The Sagittarius.
The Sagittarius realm. My daughter can tell you about the Sagittarius.
Yeah, tell me about that, please. Oh, you're on mute.
Okay, there we go. It's giving me issues. Sorry about the lighting. I'm in my boyfriend's car right now while he's at work. So basically, I was 16 at the time, and I was helping my mom clean his house because I was trying to earn some money for one of my formal gowns. That way I could, pay for it myself. And while he pulled me away from like my mom when she was cleaning, and he was like, "Have you ever heard of the Sagittarius realm?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" I'm 16 at this time. I don't know what I don't even know what it is. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm from the Sagittarius realm, and I'm a vampire. And when I was a kid, my mommy had me taken to the dentist and took out my vampire teeth."
Yeah, I've heard that story before. Now, I don't know if you're going to feel comfortable talking about this. If not, we can move on. But people have asked, and it's been brought out. And this is, again, kind of digressing into a kind of another area of Von Helton that's been brought up, and we can talk about later maybe. But Von Helton has been known, I would use the words as predatory online, kind of a sexual predator of sorts, especially with younger girls. Have you ever known him to exhibit any kind of weird affinities to younger girls? Say kind of things that are just odd around you or any instances?
The only thing that I could really tell, I would catch him watching me, and it would just kind of make me uncomfortable. So I went in there with my mom, and he wouldn't do anything if I was near my mom. Because he probably don't want to admit it, but he's afraid of her. I can tell you right now, he's seen the fear of God in his eyes when my mom got so mad at him one time.
But you felt uncomfortable around him if you were alone, kind of thing? Like
yes,
you got
I
weird
would not be around him alone. It did not make me feel comfortable. I did not feel safe. And he would just like watch me. I don't know. It just gave me a weird vibe.
So, and I'm just going to ask because an incident was brought up last time we were talking. Did Andrea ever try anything with you when you were younger?
Yep. She had tried to kiss me. I was making peanut butter crackers at the counter, and she was standing next to me, and she was like, "Hey, can I have one?" I was like, "Yeah," and I made her one, and I gave it to her, and then she just like tried to like go up against me, and I'm like, "Whoa, hold on a second." And I just kind of like looked at my mom, and then I took my crackers and I went in my room, locked the door, and I did not leave until I did not leave my room until they left.
And Vaughn was there at the time, right?
He laughed.
And he was laughing about it. He thought it was great. See, because I've known Vaughn to kind of pressure Mouse into doing certain things, and I almost like this is complete speculation, but do you think it's possible that he maybe dropped the idea in your head at a previous time to maybe make advances on you or anything like that?
I honestly think so.
Yeah,
because he has that predatory vibe. It just makes my skin crawl.
You remember when I talked to Andrea just?
Yeah, I even said hi to her. Andrea's so nice now.
Andrea is a different person, and Julia and I touched base with Andrea about that circumstance where she leaned in and tried to kiss Julia, and she goes, "Oh my God, I did what? What?"
Yeah, she don't even remember it.
Andrea was not in her head.
Well, and she has admitted that Vaughn kind of kept her unmedicated.
Yep.
And she I can attest that she would say, Martha, I can't reach my medicine. He's thrown it up on the refrigerator. I've climbed up on the refrigerator to try to find it for her, and I don't remember finding it. So he's kept his medicine away from her, and I wish she would have joined in because she could reiterate that. And the Andrea that we knew before the relation, when she just got here,
Mm-hmm.
and then the Andrea in between,
Mm-hmm.
and the Andrea now is a major difference. Am I right on that, Julia?
Yes, entirely. She's not the same person she was when she was with him.
She's
Well,
so good.
it just seems that there's a common, like, Von Helton is an old dog that never changes his tricks, and his MO of both trying to get women to his place and the way he goes about things seems to be consistent case to case. And a number of years ago, a few people put an account together and posed as a young girl that was interested in moving to Kentucky, and he was caught red-handed, willing to accept pictures of a naked 13-year-old. And there's other instances as well, but I'm just saying the MO of how he does things. And it seems that there's a consistency here between medication and manipulating mouse and what appears that he's doing now with the mother. To me, I mean, would that be safe? Do you guys get that same impression of what's going on? Or
I wish Mouse was in here because she could tell you things that we couldn't. I told her about it, and I believe Larry has sent her the link. So I don't know. She's probably busy. She is in college. I can't remember if this is her second year or not, but she's doing really good.
Yeah, and that's another accusation Vaughn is saying is that we're all lying that she's doing better than when.
Oh, yes, she is.
She's Julie can attest to. We were video chatting with her Friday
Like
night.
what? Yeah, Friday night.
Over an hour, wasn't it, Sissy?
Just about, yeah.
I had to say, okay, Andrea, I gotta go to bed. I love you. I'll talk to you. And I've messaged her a couple of times since Friday night.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, I mean, why he's saying that Andrea is ruined? Andrea is not ruined. Andrea is thriving.
Mm-hmm.
Still better than what she was with him.
She is a place with her mother. She is thriving and doing well.
Didn't she just
had some health issues, but she's overcome them and is doing well.
Good.
Did she have a new baby, Mom?
Yes, but because of everything that she's gone through in the past, one of her family members has adopted the new baby, and the new baby's 2 years old. But she does get to see him on a regular basis, and that baby is doing well.
Well, that's probably a smart decision considering all things. So, all right, let's keep moving ahead here, and then we're going to get some more questions and see where it goes. Let's keep moving through this.
Okay.
Yeah, that needs to be got out. But yeah, we'll influence his attorney. We'll buy off judges and lawyers and council members, and we'll buy off police, and we'll buy off this, and we'll buy off that, and it's all for naught, man. It's all for naught. It's all for naught. The gods I serve are a lot more powerful than that. They just are. They just are. I mean, let's say I didn't even have a dime to my name. You don't think the gods would give me the money to stop you motherfuckers? Of course they would. Of course they would. And one could argue that that's exactly what they did. And let's be clear, there's still money in Ohio that I haven't even gotten from my father yet. There's still money in Ohio waiting for me to go collect it from my father. What are you motherfuckers going to go to Ohio and claim to be a Helton now? Really? I hope so, because I'll have the Gentrys waiting on your fucking ass when you get there to arrest you. You keep forgetting the Gentrys are police officers, right? Yeah, you keep forgetting that shit. I'll have the Gentrys arrest your motherfucking asses if you go up there and try to claim to be a Helton and try to take my daddy's money. I'll have your fucking asses arrested on the spot. On the spot. One phone call to Robert Gentry, and you motherfuckers all go to prison for if you go up there and try to claim to be a Helton and take my daddy's money. Guaranteed on that shit. You guys are idiots, man. You guys are idiots. You think you're going to win this. You're not winning shit. You're not winning a damn thing. You're not winning nothing. You're a bunch of morons, and you're going to get thrown in prison for the rest of your natural lives. Like I said, multiple life sentences. You're never seeing the light of day ever. None of you. None of you will ever see the light of day. And I just thought I'd tell you, D-Day's here, man. You finally fucked up for one last time, and D-Day is here. And I'm going to be hiring an attorney whose only purpose, or his only purpose, or her, if it happens to be female, their only purpose will be to start making arrests.
So just to clear up to some people in the chat, my understanding is the Gentrys are people, and they used to be police officers. Now I understand the one he's talking about is actually passed away. Do you guys know what he's talking about?
I've not heard of any Gentrys before. That could be his dad's side of the family, but we've not heard anything from said Gentrys, like, ever, that I can attest to.
Right.
So what he's talking about, couldn't tell you.
Yeah, it's hard. Don't try to understand it. It's how his brain works.
I had to call Jim and say, who's the Gentrys? And he's like, maybe his dad's side of the family. And if he still got his daddy's money that he needs to go collect, I believe they put a statute of limitations or something on that. And if nobody comes to claim it, it dissipates.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know that for a fact, but you would think, because his dad has been passed for quite some time.
Just a couple things on a side note. Some people were asking, has Von Helton ever had a psychological exam? And if so, or if not, like, why is this guy not in a mental hospital somewhere?
He should
That's
be.
a very good question. And if he has had a mental exam, he probably would have been locked up. I don't know. I know does
I want
not.
to make an observation. You realize that, like, the entire video, he says he's going to get an attorney, and then in the middle part of it, it says, "I have an attorney."
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, he can't even keep up with his own lies, right?
Nope.
His lips make a fool of his face. He's an idiot. So
Yeah, the psych evaluation is definitely something that the man needs. Whether or not he's actually had one, I don't know. But like, that first and foremost is Alice Helton's son. That is her baby. Okay. Mama Bear is going to protect son, whether he's right or wrong. I get that. I got children. You know, that's the instinct. That's my baby. I'm going to protect it. So.
Well, sometimes you have to be cruel to be kind, like the song says, though. You know, you got to have some tough. Now, I personally, and I've said this many times, I think that painting Vaughn as some, you know, deluded schizophrenic or something like that, it just victimizes him. I don't think he has a mental impairment. Like, I don't think that he's handicapped or he has some. I just think it's personality disorders from being coddled his whole life and living in his own little bubble, right? That's really what I think it is. He's a spoiled little kid, and he's never grown up past 14 or 15 years old.
He's never had to be accountable for any of his actions.
Right.
They have never held him accountable for any wrong, anything.
Right. Okay. Well, let's move ahead here. Yes, and I do see more questions out there. We'll get to them as it's relevant in the conversation. I don't want to jump around too much, but after this is done, we'll handle some more questions. So let's keep on moving. We're almost done with this video.
Now you say, well, Vaughn, why? Why is this? It's because my previous attorney didn't make any arrests. In fact, nobody's made any arrests about anything. And that just pisses me off. So I'm going to hire an attorney whose sole job is to make arrests. That's why they will be paid handsomely, is to go around and start making arrests. And throwing people in jail that should have been thrown in jail 3 years ago. That's the sad part. Sad part is if this shit would have been handled 3 years ago, we wouldn't be having this discussion right now, would we? No. No, we would not. So now I've got to hire another attorney and have that person start making arrests. Well, but that's okay. That's all right. Like I said, I still got money and assets of my father's up in Ohio that I haven't yet gotten. And that's just the way it is. And then I will, I will get those assets and use them as financial collateral to get some jobs done that need to be gotten done that should have been done years ago. 3 years for a fucking guardianship case. I still can't believe that shit. Hey, Alice, who you want to be your guardian? I want my son to be your guardian. Bam, down goes the gavel. 5 minutes tops, in and out, done. But no, oh no, we got to stretch this out for 3.5 years, folks. 3.5 years. I walked into Riley Shepard's office in February of 2017. February of 2017. And here we are 3.5 years later, and I'm still not guardian of my mother's affairs. Permanent guardian, that is. Not temporary or emergency or any of that. Fucking hilarious. So now I've got to hire a lawyer to run around and start arresting people because my previous attorney refused to arrest anyone. But that's okay. That's all right. Because if my attorney had made arrests 3 years ago, I wouldn't be having this discussion, and there wouldn't be people trying to manipulate my mother anymore. But no, we can't do that. We can't do what actually makes sense. I don't understand. When it comes to shit that actually makes sense, nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to do things that actually make sense. I don't know why. I don't understand that. I have never understood that. Makes no damn sense to me. So now I've got to hire another attorney whose sole purpose will be to literally making arrests. That's going to be their only job. Their only job will be to start rounding people up and arresting them and throwing their ass in jail pending trial. That's going to be their job. And that's the way it's going to go down, folks. Now, I know there's people going to be saying, oh, that ain't ever going to happen. It's happening today. I'm hiring them today. I am hiring them today. D-Day is here. It isn't coming. It's here today. The locals are going to prison today on multiple life sentences. And you will never escape. Ever. Elder abuse, child abuse, molestation even, possibly.
All right, that's where I wanted to stop it and where I wanted to get it to. So that's a new charge he's thrown in there. Elderly abuse, child abuse, and molestation possibly. Do you guys know what the hell he's talking about?
Child abuse and molestation, those would probably be questions best answered from the people who have interacted with the children recently. I can tell you what I've heard, but
well, I'll put it out there. One of the accusations that came right out of his own mouth is that the children were exposed to pornography.
He probably was the one to do it.
Now, he's been blaming Andrea, but I don't see that happening. So.
I think it was Andrea.
I was told that he had a porn website. There was a porn website that you could go onto, and his video was about the 5th or 6th video down. And they opened it, and the person said, I seen his face and backed out because I was afraid of what I was going to see.
Whoa, this is bombshell. So Vaughn put a video of himself on a site doing something freaky?
I don't know.
Oh,
all I know is what I told you.
Whoa, this adds a whole new dimension to what possibly was going on in there. It kind of makes sense why he had locks on the doors, right?
Maybe. I've heard that the child said that she was afraid to go to sleep because there was a dragon or something outside her window that she was afraid was going to get her.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know. I've also heard from neighbors that the boy was sleeping underneath the trailer. I don't know. These are things that I'm getting told when I go into the store or just people telling me.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think even the school has said something about it because I'm pretty sure the girls went to school talking about it.
The girls. I've even heard that a school official noticed a change in one of the girls' behaviors, so they investigated, and that's when things went south. Now, like I said, I don't have these facts. I am going by what I'm being told from the community that knows him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not
Yeah. No, I hear you. Yeah. No.
Jen might have something to say here because she's the one who's witnessed these things.
Yeah, I was hoping she was still around. Is she on the phone still? Because she had left some comments alluding. Now, I want to just bring up while we're getting her on there. I have put on my channel an old Skype conversation we had with Von Helton years ago, where apparently Ma Helton witnessed the oldest girl doing some things a little girl shouldn't know about.
Probably. I believe she has complained that Vaughn, you need to stop being on the internet because these kids are being subject to things that they shouldn't be.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. We do have to be careful. I know we want to be sensational, but we have to be careful with the allegations and be clear of what's fact and fiction. But again, this just seems to fit a long-running narrative of Von Helton. It is proved that he has downloaded modifications for his video games that add horse vaginas and animal rape modifications that allow him to do really weird things. So I had always thought maybe the kids had witnessed that, and that's what they're talking about. But
They very well could. That these are young children. They are sneaky. They do things that you and I would be like, "How in the world did you do this?" I mean, I've witnessed it with my own eyes. I work at a daycare, and some of the things that the kids can pull off that you wouldn't think they'd pull off, they pull off. And
right.
I know that I've not personally seen any of these things on his computer. Now, I have seen his screensavers that have a lot of provocative females, ladies, but not anything that disturbing.
Someone says they're trying to call you, Marcia.
Okay, that would be Jen. Ron's trying to get the phone to click over, so
Okay, no, yeah, no problem. And yeah, because she has some stuff to say as well. Wow, this is some bombshell stuff here, folks. We got stolen trailers or tractors. We got Von camming, apparently is the word out there. I don't know about that, but we don't know. This is just what's been said, but someone has claimed that they were on a porn site and saw Von Helton's face and hit the stop button as fast as they could. So that sounds believable to me. So we're trying to get someone on the line here that has a little more knowledge. In the meantime, JM Frost, I understand that you helped clean the trailer on occasion.
Yep, I was there for the entire weekend.
So maybe you can tell your perspective. What are some things you saw as you worked your way through the single wide?
It's a lot. I was there. I had to help my mother scrape poop off of the walls. They had taken a crayon and wrote, "Why don't you love me, Daddy?" And some other things that I don't think I should talk about. It was pretty disturbing because it had appeared that he had locked them in there even when they had to go to the bathroom. And that's just so sad.
Yeah, I know about the feces down the heat vents and the poop on the ceilings and the walls. And
I'm pretty sure they even tried to throw Fruit Loops to it to see if it would stick.
Okay. Oh, here we go. I hear somebody. Go for it. Go.
I have Jen on the. I do have Larry on Facebook Messenger, but I have him on a headset so it doesn't reverberate through the microphone.
Yeah, no problem.
But I have Jen on the telephone and Larry on Messenger. So throw out your question. Jen can hear you. Larry might be able to hear you, but I will have to respond to what he says.
Yeah, no problem. So, Jen, thank you for joining us. I've seen you leave some comments before. I'll let you say your piece first, maybe a few questions. And to the people in the chat, yes, we're going to get all of it. We'll get to as many as we can here. But go ahead, please.
Jen, he was talking to you.
Oh, hello. Yeah, for the last, we'll say 4 years, we've just now started getting in see Alice and stuff with my kids, and they would hang out with Irvy's kids over there at Alice's. I started noticing, odd behavior coming from them. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. But we'd start seeing them sneaking out their windows in the middle of the night to play with the stray dogs. And they'd run around the yard, and I don't know if they were coming to escape their house to go to Grandma's in the middle of the night. or what. But we've had to clean out their house before too, just like you guys, and redo their bathroom because they'd be left alone in the bathroom and the water running. And
Now, I just want to back up, and I know it's an awkward kind of thing to talk about, so just speak as you're comfortable on the topic. But you mentioned odd behaviors, and I think before you mentioned, has anybody from the school or outside the family noticed, quote, odd behaviors coming particularly from the oldest daughter?
That's the main reason why Children's Services got involved this last time, is the teachers started noticing, because the son went to a special school because of his autism.
Right.
But the girls went, and while Alice was taking care of them, they would go to school clean and dressed in the clothes that fit them, and then she got in her car accident. This was when I think Marsha pulled back a little bit because of something between her and Irby.
Yeah, the video was released accusing me of stuff, so I pulled back.
That's when me and my husband would come over and try and help her, because she had this big gaping wound on her leg from the accident, and no one was taking care of her. So I'd go over there and I'd taking care of her leg and all that, and he kept the kids from her, like mentally telling her like she can't care for them, and because she's old, and it would be elderly abuse to let the kids see her. And
so withholding the visits from the kids is kind of
breaking her heart.
Yeah, breaking her heart. She'd cry. She cries over them babies.
She's still crying to this day.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
She thinks they're in their room right now, or something, like sometimes because of her dementia.
Right.
And that breaks my heart.
Again, I don't want to dwell on it too much, but I think it is kind of important. But I had mentioned that the oldest girl a while back had exhibited some behaviors where she seemed to know things that a little girl shouldn't know. And I think it was you that had left a comment about someone. And this is really hard to talk about, and I don't want to dwell on it, but one of the girls complaining that certain parts of her body was hurting.
Oh, yeah. One of the women who started cleaning the house after Marsha, I guess, bathed the girls because they were just covered in dirt, on filth. And she's like, I can't put water on my
areas
because it burns. And like, I think she said that they were like swollen, and I thought maybe she got a hold of like 100% juice or something, and it was acidy or like pee or something. But then now that I'm starting to see these videos of him, and just the last few years we've been watching his YouTube videos, it makes me sick to think of
what may have, yeah. And I mean, I don't know for sure, but there's been some weird incidences on camera as well, where apparently the oldest girl was wearing makeup and he was accidentally calling her Andrea a few times.
Yeah, I've heard him call her by different names, and I didn't know what her mom's name was
right
at the time. But now that I know, it was like really weird, and she'd just kind of go and sulk off in the corner, or he'd take one of the girls back to the trailer, or even the boy, and then they would be left over with me and my kids and Alice. And of course, I'm not thinking nothing of it because I didn't know him enough to make allegations like that. But
and to be fair, we don't know, but it just seems to fit a really weird pattern.
I believe that they have been exposed to things that they
shouldn't have.
Well, definitely living in a single wide. I mean,
happened. I don't know, but
right. Well, I think it's totally possible. Like even just a simple scenario of them getting up in the middle of the night to use the washroom, seeing something weird on the computer or something.
Right.
And they're old enough; they should have been able to bathe themselves and
their
own, like sandwiches and cereal, but they weren't allowed to leave their rooms to even learn how to basic skills for their age.
Right. Now, I was going to say this for a little bit later, but I'm just going to get to it now. And people have asked, and I'm going to let you guys, and I understand this is a complex dynamic. It's not as simple as sometimes when you're sitting outside of the situation. You know, it's easy to be brave and virtuous in the comments of a YouTube video, but when you're involved in it, it's a little different. But it does beg the question, like several adults have witnessed the neglect of the children. And I know Alice has the best intentions at heart, but sometimes, you know, it's kind of like someone who loves animals and takes so many in, but they're actually suffering from fleas and stuff. You know, you're loving them so much, you're hurting them. And it begs the question, like, why did nobody contact CPS?
You're asking why the family didn't?
Yeah.
Because we would be down there helping Alice take care of them.
Alice's heart.
Yeah, we were
we
more concerned for Alice.
Well, I don't even want to say that. Is like, because I knew as long as Alice had them at one point, Alice had partial custody of them when they come back. So they spent 90% of their time with Alice. So
yeah, we already knew. By the time we started getting involved, Children's Services was already
the last time.
So I just kind of,
everything kind of went downhill because
when you stopped helping them.
When I stopped helping them, because when I was helping, Alice did have part custody of them. And then
I wish I would have known that, because then I could have been like, well, you can't keep her from her grandkids.
Right. So she would always
letting her in her own trailer over there where he's living to see that, like, to check on him. And she's like, I'm worried about him. I don't know what.
Because she would get
the window, and that's when they started climbing out the windows in the middle of winter last year. In their little summer pajamas, fit for my kids who are 4 and 5. Wearing 4 and 5 teen outfits and running with the stray dogs.
Larry just told me that Irvy kept the children from her for a year because Alice supposedly was chasing them with the broom. And Children's Service told him what?
I think she might have whooped one of them because they were tearing her kitchen.
James said that? James said no. Jen, hold on a second. James told Alice that CPS said that she couldn't see the kids. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
That she wasn't allowed to see them.
Now, the kids were... It was such a complex situation because, like I said, Alice there was cribs over at James's house for all the babies. So there was like a total of 6 cribs between the 2 buildings. Okay? So that way, if Alice had them, and for at least a month after the children were born, they were at Alice's, and me and 2 other women would take turns going in to help her care for these 3 children. Okay?
Right.
And then I only know of 4 times that CPS was involved. He's saying 11 and everybody else is saying 11. So see, I've lost a lot of stuff because it would go in spurts. And, you know, Alice can only...
I think it's been every other year that Children's Services got involved.
It's had to have.
With this group of children. Now, I've been hearing on the internet that he had other children with other people.
He has a boy in North Dakota.
He has a boy in North Dakota. There's another boy out there, and then he did have one pass away.
Like stillborn, I think.
Yes.
So just to be clear, the Von Helton Jr. on the internet was just a guy trolling him. It was a joke. That guy's not really.
Yeah, we were wondering about that.
So I mean, but we have been, me personally have been so close with the situation because, like I said, I would go down there and help them. Other family members would be down there to help Alice. We didn't want to take these children from Alice, and I'm sorry, I'm a firm believer. Children need to be with family. Yeah. And I know Alice had them most of the time until
I think
they locked her.
When he got her labeled incompetent, because then that meant no one could take care of the kids.
Right. And when she fell out that window, and Marcy's not lying, mind you, it's a pretty, trailers have to be leveled, and the property down here is not very flat. I mean, it's flat for the most part, but it is at least 10 to 12 foot off from the ground. And she fell out of it. And from that point on,
I remember her telling me about that and how the children were getting into her medicine and
Yes.
sliding her medicine
Under the door. Yes, I know.
They locked her in her room.
With no telephone, no way of getting anything, and I know that there probably has been family members that called CPS, and I didn't, and I probably should have forever ago, but
you thought as long as they had grandma.
Yeah, grandma was always right there, and when the children
medication,
every time that I would go over there, we would have to get all of the children's clothing. We would wash every piece of child's clothing that she could get her hot little hands on. We played with the children. We interacted with the children. I've even had to delouse the children because they've gone to school. I mean, and I can't say that it's James's fault that they got lice because Oneida Elementary School is bad for lice.
But my girls, since I've put them in, I've been using that lice shield.
Yes, I had to go get her generic tea tree oil shampoo so we could keep them from getting lice all the time. Yeah. So, I mean, there was always somebody that
he was using it for himself.
Probably.
I asked him if he had a little bit that I could use for the kids.
Yeah.
And he got it out of his bathroom or something, and he's like, I need that.
Well, he'd have to wash to be able to use it.
Poison actually was like a muscle drink for the lice and made them stronger and turned them into super lice.
Who said that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. But yeah, that was. There was always somebody that helped Alice take care of those babies up until she fell out of the window, and he has tried to tell Alice that Jim was the reason you didn't come home when you should have, and that's not the case. Jim was in contact with the doctors and everything and said, when can she come home? Is it possible for her to come home? And at one point, when the doctor did say that she could come home, Jim said, Alice, you got to wait for a couple hours. I have an appointment I need to go to. I'll be there to get you. She was there for as long as the doctor would let her be there. She was not there because Jim signed her in and forced her to stay. She was only there long enough for that. And then after that, she had an open wound on her leg that refused to. No, that one was still from the window, from when she fell out the window. It took a half a year, if not more, for that wound to heal. And then she had the car accident.
Which she thought, she made my husband look at her car because she's like, my car wouldn't stop. She thought someone messed with her brakes.
That I heard that too, but I don't think anybody messed with the brakes. Wasn't it raining?
Because it was icy.
That's what I thought. So, but
okay. Somebody had asked out there. I just wanted to roll up again. Where did the question go? It says, I'm curious how the Frost feel about Von Helton releasing the names of his children's schools to win an internet argument. I would actually put that to a broader question. How do you guys feel about Von Helton using his children as leverage to paint other people badly in internet disputes or internet videos? I mean, I think it's obvious he's using his children to claim victimhood on the internet.
I know that.
So how do you guys feel?
Because I was actually looking at one of his other lives, and somebody had said something about sending him money because his kids needed shampoo and stuff when he didn't even have them at the time.
Alice is overflowing with shampoo and conditioner.
Alice never let them children go without anything. He would go over to Alice's house to get whatever he needed because she would always buy extra.
We can see him on the camera
Right. So, I mean, it's disgusting to me how I feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like how Larry bought her a pizza a couple days ago, and he goes in and takes like 2/3
of the pizza and left her with 2 pieces. Yeah, he's something.
Mm-hmm.
I would buy snacks for the kids, and he'd be the one eating the majority of them while the kids are locked in their room. I think I saw a video of him eating the Go-Gurt that I gave him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you gave them that. Wow. Yeah, he's always eating to the kids' food and stuff. Yeah.
The man has always had food in his house. I can attest to that because I've had to go through and take out even his mother's house. I've had to go through and weed out the expired stuff and and you know.
But
Well,
no, the
another
thing
thing,
with the kids and how they became like retracted the right word? From people and
Yeah, reclusive.
Yeah. The youngest one started doing that a few months or so before Children's Services took her, where she kept her purses on her, all this jewelry, like the fake jewelry and stuff. That's all right and all, but like she was trying to cover herself, like a security blanket is what I would. And that's when I started getting suspicious of. And she's telling me that my girls were playing too rough with the toys, and like she was concerned about how rough people were with things.
Yeah, it's disturbing behavior for sure.
When things were simple and everything was copacetic and everything was wonderful. I mean, there's even these children would come to Alice's. They had a toy box in the living room. They would get there of a morning. We would feed them breakfast. They would get if they had school, they would get baths. I would bath them. Then we'd feed them breakfast. Then if they had school, I'd take, okay, it's time to go over to Daddy will get you on the bus, because he'd go out his front door and walk them down with their backpack and stuff. Basically. And then I'd do what I needed to do at Alice's, and they'd get home from school, we'd fix dinner, and then they'd sit and play, and they'd watch their Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, because that was one of their favorite shows. Of course, all toddlers love Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Yeah. So, I mean, those are times that I remember, and I knew that they were taken care of. That was before things really, in my opinion, started really going downhill. And then when they were starting to get a little bit older, and the school would call and say, well, they're sick, you need to come and get them. And then he would start raving and ranting, going in a Von Helton rage. Well, they're supposed to be the ones to take them to the doctor. They're the ones who's supposed to...
Like how he was saying when she had 104 fever, the oldest one did, just last year. He's like, oh, they're going to make me pay a $500 hospital thing. I'm like, they have medical cards. Stamps. They have medical.
They have medical card. What do you have?
Why won't you take her? I mean, I can go get Tylenol right now. He's like, I just ordered something on eBay. I'm like, you're trusting your child with eBay medicine?
That's going to take.
Well, we've witnessed him actually use a potato.
She had 102
potato
fever
for what?
when I got there, and it was 104 when I left.
Jeez.
Yeah, well, we've witnessed him.
Couch there with her,
we've witnessed him actually use when Andrea set the. I forget if it was the oldest one or one of the younger children, but in the shower and turned the hot water and walked away because they were busy on the internet and scalded the child. And they were already in trouble with CPS. So he didn't want to take the child. This happened live on a blog stream, by the way. And he didn't want to take the child in because obviously it would look bad because he was already under investigation. So he looked up on the internet that you can use a potato on a burn.
That's what he told me that whenever oh my God. See, the things that I missed. I would have snatched them up.
Well,
now, just before we get too digressed here, just to bring a kind of background to something else, the reason an interesting point how Ma looks after everything's provided for the guy. I mean, okay, he lives poor, but I mean his bills are paid, the grass is cut, the kids get state assistance, their medical needs are covered. And when I was talking about using the kids as leverage, see, don't kid yourself. The victimhood thing isn't so much about smearing you; it's about playing him as a victim. Because there are a small percentage of people, even though they don't believe Von Helton, they see him as a victim of something, and they'll give him money. And I know people that give him money, and what he does, it's not out front. What he does is he talks to people behind the scenes on Skype. And one person in particular, he went on Skype on camera. It was him and the kids wrapped up in blankets on the bed, saying that the heat got shut off and they needed like $500. The guy gave him almost $1,000 or something silly.
The heat didn't. Why would the heat?
No, that I don't. I call that like a meal ticket. Use for a meal ticket.
No, you're in my ear, so it doesn't reverberate through. What do you have to say about this? I'm repeating from Larry.
Yeah.
There is no way that his heat has been shut off. He is on natural gas.
Right.
and it is he had, even if his power was to go off, he has what we call a wall hugger heater that is connected to the natural gas, and it will work without electricity. And Ma Helton would never allow his heat or power be shut off.
Well, exactly. And that individual, he
has special disabilities. He'd qualify to get it turned back on because of that.
Yes. So I mean,
too lazy
well,
to get himself even on disability.
Well, that particular individual I was talking about in that situation where he had the kids all wrapped up in the bed, saying he needed it for his bills, which are covered by the mother. We all know about the natural gas deposit on the land, and he gets his own heat, and mom pays the bill. Everybody knows that. But he plays this case to these people, and that he's a victim and getting picked on. He needs some money, and then he turned around and bought a gun with it, apparently, a revolver or something.
Holy crap!
Wasn't that his mom's gun?
Well, he has his mom's gun, but apparently he bought a revolver or something with it.
He bought a revolver from, I don't know. I've not been on that property in 3 years, but what, Larry?
I'll have to come over to your house, Marcia, and we'll have to use my new projector, and we'll binge watch all these.
He's got 9 guns.
He used to claim that he had a Gatling gun that he named Old Painless.
A Gatling gun. Whether I cannot attest to that. Never seen that, nor
or a minigun or something. I don't.
But he's a good. He's a good storyteller, isn't he?
He can always make up good villains that we love to hate.
Right, right. He'd be good for that. But Larry is saying that Alice had 9 guns. And he has them now. Now, have you seen that he's bought this other revolver? Larry has not seen said revolver that he's bought.
Yeah, I try to post Larry.
So just to clarify here, I threw out a number. The person is indicating it wasn't. I don't know if it was 2 chunks. I know for sure they told me it was like $400 or $500 at least once. So maybe not $1,000, but
okay. But I feel sorry for the people that do send him money, that actually believe that these babies have been cared for, whether he's had anything to do with it or not. I mean, you know, I can't. I know I've said I really need to call Children's Services, but I do not want to break poor Alice's heart, because I know as long as she's in the picture, these children will not want for anything. And
all right, so the story, just to put out there, the person says he gave him a total of $190. So together with him and the other people, it was almost $1,000. I swear that he said it was $300 or $400 before. Maybe I'm wrong, but he's saying $190 now. So I just want to be completely honest. That's what the person's saying. So that's what they say.
I mean, he is definitely a piece of work, and he's a good manipulator. Andrea will tell you he's a good manipulator. I mean, conversations on Andrea and I have had just over the phone.
I love how he says that women my age are too old.
How old are you?
28.
Okay. Well, you're too old. Well, hell, I'm 45.
He wants under 25 at least.
Oh, we know how young he'll go anyway. So.
You get what you get. You don't throw a fit. That's what I tell my kids. You get what you get. You don't throw a fit.
Exactly. Well, he throws a fit because he doesn't get enough. And I think that's why he's so mad. And he did take heed. Notice that video, throughout that entire video, he never said the Frost. He just said the locals. We're not.
He needs to be careful with that too, because
we're not idiots that he's claiming that we are. We're not the morons that he's claiming that we are.
He's talking about himself. I don't know what they call that when you're actually talking about yourself, but you're pointing it onto other people, projecting it onto them.
Right. I know what you're talking about, but I don't know what you call it either.
Dumbass. That's what I call it.
You call him dumbass. But we used to get along pretty good. You know, we used to never have any problems.
Seen him unless it was food.
Yeah, I mean, I'd go over and make food, and then now, Marcia, you need to call James so he can come over and get him some food. Okay, Miss Alice, I'll get him on the phone right now. James, there's food. Get your butt over here.
ago when I met him that this is how we
You and me both, because he and I have. He's an intelligent man. When you sit down and have a conversation, when it's not about his Sagittarius realm or Pentagon stuff, he could actually be an intelligent man.
Well, he can articulate himself. That's what I mean. Like, he doesn't suffer a hand. I know we all call him an idiot and a dumbass and crazy, but in reality, he's not. Like, because to me, that just gets him off the hook. That victimizes him, right?
Right.
He's smart enough to know what he's doing. Exactly. I mean, he's not a rocket scientist, that's for sure. I mean,
he's probably got a few screws loose, but that he's a recluse when we have family reunions, he would say, well, I'm not a Frost. I'm going, honey, I got news for you. Your mother was a Frost. She married a Helton. You have Helton blood. You have Frost blood. That does classify you as in the Frost family. So these people out here that you're hiding from are your family members. But he would come. I don't even think he would come at the last reunion we had. Andrea and the children were out, and the children were being children, climbing and getting in everything. But at one point, one of the girls climbed underneath somebody's vehicle and wouldn't come out from underneath the vehicle. It took us a good half an hour to get her out from underneath the vehicle. Well, how long did it take us to get her out from underneath? Okay, well, it seemed like a while because she wouldn't come out from underneath the vehicle, but she was just playing, playing hide and seek. And I think Andrea had to make him a plate and take it to him because he wouldn't come out.
Wow.
And then at one point, when everybody was leaving, we're, divvying up food, how you do at family reunions. Here, take this. We're not going to eat all this, And all of a sudden we're going, Andrea, where's your children? My children are right here, 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 and here. We had to go on a search for said children. And I don't even remember where we found them. Do you remember where we found them, Larry? I think two of them were in the bathroom playing in the water.
Probably.
But I don't remember where the third one was. But
I remember the time that the kids got into the toilet.
The kids got into the toilet all the time.
And I remember it was days they had blue dye on their hands and face and everything, and he just didn't wash it. Like, we were just like, he thought it was funny. Like,
so they didn't just play in the toilet; they played in the tank where we put the tidy bowl in.
Yeah, because they had blue dye all over their hands and stuff.
Goodness, I missed that one.
Yeah, that's around, I think, when we had to fix their bathroom.
Well, because before, it was when Andrea was there, my husband, Jim, Larry, weren't you there a couple of times when they were redoing the two bathrooms and the floor?
Where, in Irving's?
At Irving's house. They put hardwood laminate flooring from stem to stern, that entire trailer. 3/4 inch new board underneath it.
Then he went and said that the tub broke and he sold it to somebody.
The tub? What tub? The one in his bathroom? Because
the one in the kids', and that's when we put the shower up.
He sold the bathtub?
There wasn't a bathtub in the kids' bathroom. There was a walk-in shower because Alice wanted a walk-in shower because her walk-in shower has a step up into it. And she said, I want a low platform shower over at Irvy's so I can go over and take my shower without having to raise my leg up because she wasn't stable. And that's when you built that shower.
That one in her house, right?
No, the one in Irvy's house. That was adjoined.
It was in the bathroom in Irvy's.
With the kids' room?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, well, we were told it was a tub that broke, and he got rid of everything that was in there before we got in there.
Brand new shower with surround and everything.
We had to buy a brand new standing shower, new laminate for the floor, and stuff to rearrange the bathroom.
So it's been interesting. Can you tell?
It's been a couple of years since I put all that stuff in there.
Twice in about 4 years that he's got a new bathroom for the
whole floor.
The whole floor and bathroom.
Hanging, like waterlogged and stuff.
From them kids.
I remember the kids going in there and putting their toys and overflowing the toilet and then putting towels and stuff to plug up the shower so it would just fill up with water so they could
they were having a good time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's the fact that he wasn't watching them.
Exactly.
Well, the kids are being kids, right? And they're acting out because
Exactly.
there's nothing for them to do. I mean, if you're locked in a room breathing in your own feces for 12 hours a day, you're going to crawl out the window and do stuff, right?
Yep. Basically, that's and he's like, well, they're being bad, and I'm going, no, James, they're not being bad. They're being children who are being unsupervised and not stimulated. You have to stimulate children.
I don't imagine Vaughn is exactly the type that would sit down and do a coloring book with his kids at the kitchen table, or like actually spend time with them, take them to a park, or take them to So
Alice even bought a swing set.
Little thing, like down to the colors of their plates and forks.
Oh yeah, he had color. Well, I mean, I understood his reasoning behind getting plates and forks and bowls and spoons and cups. Okay, this one is yours, this one is yours, because they did argue. Well, I want that one, I want that one. So he would had them color coded for each child.
Right.
That so it was like, but this is yours. This is yours. That there's no argument here. So I get that.
That's a sign of mental illness too.
Yeah.
I would know. I'm nuts myself.
Honey, we're all nuts at some point.
I know. The government pays me to be nuts.
All right. Well, what I'm going to do here, because I want to freshen my drink here before we wrap it up, because we're getting towards the end. I don't want to go too long tonight, but let's play a little more of this video, and then we'll tackle some more questions here, and then we'll let everyone say their piece. So let's just advance on with the video for a moment. I will be right back.
We'll have to see. But you want to come in my house and steal shit out of my house? You want to go into my mother's house and steal shit out of my mother's house? You want to manipulate everybody in the goddamn state of Kentucky, for fuck's sake? And think you're going to get off? You ain't getting off. You're not getting off. No, sorry, you're not. And everyone around you isn't getting off either. Sorry. Sorry about your luck. Now, if you're watching this video and you're scratching your head saying, what in the fuck is Vaughn talking about? I'm addressing specific individuals in this live feed. This live feed is addressing specific individuals, okay? So if you're just the passerby and you catch this video and you're like, what in the hell is Vaughn talking about? Well, just pay it no heed. I'm talking to specific individuals. All right, this go around. Let's go around. So anyways, but yeah, that's where we're at. And that's going to happen today. Today. I am going to be calling this individual today. Like I said, I don't even know if they're male or female, nor do I care. As long as they get the job done. That's all that matters to me. And that's exactly what's going to happen. You do not have the right to steal someone's inheritance. You do not have a right to manipulate their mother. You do not have the right to put their kids out in a fucking pandemic where they could get killed. No, you don't have that right. Sorry. Sorry, you don't have that right. You can say you do, but that don't change a damn thing. Now, does it? My kids are in a pandemic right now. And who does COVID-19 kill? Oh, yeah. It kills children and elderly, doesn't it? And gee, who are we talking about in this video? My children and my elderly mother. Isn't that a coincidence? Isn't that a coincidence? So yeah, it's going to be real fun, isn't it? It's going to be real interesting, isn't it?
Well, aside from the misinformation they just spewed about COVID-19, it's kind of funny because he was just claiming that COVID-19 was fake, but apparently it's your fault. Somehow there's a connection between trying to murder his children with COVID-19 and his mother, I guess. I don't know what he's trying to say there, but
that's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't even really deserve a response. It's so silly.
No. It's Jen saying that it's what he's spewing back out is stuff that he apparently is doing. So he's trying to lay the blame on other people he doesn't want to take responsibility for what he's done, because it's always, if you're listening closely, it's always poor pitiful me, I'm the victim. He's not the victim. The children and his mother are the victim at this point. And children survive the coronavirus. I myself, because I have asthma, am a high risk for the coronavirus. My husband, with the diabetes and the blood pressure issues that he has, is high risk for the coronavirus. And it's the elderly that if she was to get it, they're afraid she wouldn't survive it. So he's talking out of his rump, so to speak.
Now, on a lighter note, since we know that Irv has stole many of Ronnie Ray's military history and claimed it as his own, someone had asked, it says, ask Marsha if Irv is trying to look like Ronnie Ray with the hat and all.
That my husband is way too handsome to be compared to that man. That I can't even that's he can try all he wants, but he's not. There's no comparing my husband to that piece of work.
Fair enough.
That's an interesting question.
Well, we only got a couple more minutes of the video. Let's let Vaughn ring it out here. Give him his say, since he's obviously not man enough to come in and face the his accusers.
He's not man enough to face the firing squad. If you notice the video, he didn't argue anything that we said.
No.
He did not one time rebut or refuse anything that myself, my husband, or Larry has said.
Yeah. No, that's true. He hasn't actually addressed anything. He's just making vague, allegations. But anyways, let's let the fool make a fool of himself here.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Oh, we got off, man. We got off. We manipulated his attorney. We paid off everybody in the damn state of Kentucky. We're gonna get off. We're gonna make out like bandits with this. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're going to prison on multiple life sentences. And there is no escape. There is no escape. It's just a shame that I have to hire another attorney to get this shit done that should have been done 3 years ago, but that's okay. It's all right. I mean, there's a reason and purpose for everything, right? Even the bad shit. There's a reason and purpose for everything. So I just hire another attorney, throw y'all in fucking jail, and then we go on about our lives. Me and my mother, I mean. I have been working under the tutelage of the bank manager from day fucking one. And when that shoe drops, you all go to prison for elder abuse. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. The bank manager is the one that set up my joint account with my mother. The bank manager is the one that approached me about handling my mother's finances. The bank manager was the one that has been carefully watching everything that's been transpiring thus far. The bank manager is the one that is pissed off at certain individuals for going to the bank and starting a bunch of shit and opening up their fucking mouths when they shouldn't have done so. And when that shoe drops, you go bye-bye. You go bye-bye. It's as simple as that. You dumb fuckers. Well, we'll manipulate his attorney and we'll do this and that. I just hire another attorney, dumb fucks. Are you really that stupid? Are you really that fucking stupid? I guess you are. I guess you fucking are. Oh, shit. Oh, well, anyway, I got shit to do this morning, like I said. But I just want to get on here and just, a PSA, if you will.
Spoiler alert, Von Helton has absolutely nothing to do any day other than go down to the mailbox and check the mail.
Public service.
He doesn't even do that. His mother goes to the mailbox.
Well, there you go, folks.
The D-Day is no longer coming. D-Day is here. D-Day is fucking here. All right, it's here.
Well, I'm glad
D-Day is going to start being made.
He's definitely a broken record.
Yeah, a 27-minute video of Von Helton is about 3 minutes of substance, and
Yes.
25 minutes of just recirculating the same bullshit.
We're 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 the
I'm
dumb
losing brain
motherfuckers for
cells.
paying attention to him. Pardon my French, but after so long and making so many videos bad mouthing me and me getting friend requests and people asking me if that really happened, I felt that, okay, well, let's get a hold of somebody that posts these things and I will say my piece, give them my truth, let them see who I am.
Right. No, exactly. And I mean, I'm willing to give you the platform. And again, just to put it out there for the 2 or 3 people who spread bullshit, who knows it's lies, I do not pay the Frost family to
Honey,
come on my live streams, which I don't monetize. I make no money doing this either. So I have
I
no.
do not make any money. No. I am not making money to tell. I just want it out there that I'm not doing what he's accusing me of. Neither is any of the Frost family members. He has a vendetta against the Frost family. Why? I don't have an answer for you, other than he's jealous of what we have.
Just as a
Larry
side,
heard a story. What story, Larry?
just while you're talking to Larry, just one quick sec. I just want to make an announcement. Just on a side note, one of Vaughn's supporters, G-Man, I had to flag down the other night because in an effort, one Vaughn supporter, it was trying to suck up to Vaughn through another Vaughn supporter because Vaughn's mad at them.
Oh, Lord.
And in a vain attempt to curry Vaughn's favor, they dropped my real name or my real legal name. In this guy named G-Man featured the comment on screen in his live stream, so I flagged it down. This is how stupid these people are. He knew enough he was wrong, pulled the video, right? Then made another video attacking another YouTuber's wife. During that video, he holds up his phone, plays the original video with the part doxing me again. So just so people know, yes, I did flag that with another privacy complaint this evening. So G-Man will now have 2 privacy complaints against his channel. So this is how stupid these people are. But what was Larry saying?
Larry's heard a story about. Go ahead, tell me, and I'll repeat it. Him and James and his father went over to an uncle's house, Uncle Floyd's, and Uncle Floyd didn't talk to them. They sat there an hour, and they didn't. I guess they weren't having a conversation with them, so they got up and left. And I guess there's been bad blood ever since. That's what Larry has heard.
Okay.
Now, mind you, Uncle Floyd's passed, but Big Irvy's been passed for a while now. So, I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, let's just watch the last 2 minutes of this and then we'll move on.
Okay. Well, when, Vaughn? Well, I don't know. Unfortunately, the gears of justice turn so goddamn slow, it makes me want to spit nails. But it will happen. Okay? It will happen. Guaranteed.
I took it.
All right. Because it has to happen. It just does. It has to happen. All right. So, anyways, yeah, D-Day is here. And I'm going to be, like I said, I'm going to be making phone calls this morning. That's going to be my modus operandi from this morning on forward until the next, I don't know, about week or 2, I guess. So something like that. Because obviously this shit's not going to stop until I make it stop, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's not going to stop until I make it stop. And by the gods, I am going to make it stop. It's going to stop once and for all. So you can get on the internet and talk all that shit about that evil Von Helton guy all you want. It ain't going to change a damn thing. Not going to change a damn thing. Multiple life sentences for everyone that is involved with my kids or my mother. Multiple life sentences. And there is no escape. None. There is no escape.
been over a decade. Nothing's
Anyway,
happened. Nothing.
that's pretty much all I got. Y'all have a pleasant day and a better tomorrow. Bye.
So that's Mr. Von Helton, folks. That's just one example, one offering. But again, folks, like, keep in mind, nobody in their right mind believes this guy. And the funny thing is, like, right now, tonight we broke 150 live viewers. He's had supposedly legions of fucking trolls. The funny thing is, most people he calls trolls are people that he's fucked over at one point or another on the internet, or just been an asshole to. And if he really wanted this stuff to stop, all he's got to do is be a decent person and a good father, and just do normal, the bare minimum that the law requires, like cleaning your children. Don't send them to school. So, like, you realize how bad your kids have to stink before they get the state involved? That's pretty damn bad.
Pretty daggone dirty. And then if you look at the video, how black his hands are. How often does he wash his hands?
You guys remember when he used to have the long fingernails, his vampire fingernails?
I know his toes are like that.
You told me. Yeah, can you tell the story about the toes again, please?
Well, okay. I've had the pleasure, I guess not really the pleasure, the displeasure. He was prescribed compression socks, and his feet, I don't know if any of you guys know what a Cabbage Patch doll is, and you know how fat and fluffy and the toes. That is the best way I could describe how swollen his feet are. And then he's got what I would call raptor claws for toenails.
Mm-hmm.
So he did not, and still probably does not, want to wear said compression socks. He's supposed to, because of how bad swollen his feet and legs get. From what I've heard from Larry, is his feet are so bad that they're turning black. Is that correct, Larry? Larry and Jen both said yes, they are turning black. So there's a circulation problem there. Compression socks are supposed to help that if you've had any medical training. And the only reason I know so much about compression socks, I used to have to assist my grandfather of putting his compression socks on daily after he got out of his shower. He would come in and say, Marcia, help me get my socks on. And we would get his, get his socks on him. And those are no punk to get on, especially if you've got somebody who's got feet as swollen as he has.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, his feet and toes are in pretty bad shape. And my opinion to that is from eating all of the TV dinners and all of, my son calls them ding ding meals. Basically, ding ding, they're done in the microwave. Go get them, because they put so much sodium and stuff in there to preserve that food so it can be frozen and whatever. I think that has a lot to do with it, and the fact that he keeps them hanging down at the computer desk.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to run through some questions here that people had. Most of them we've already addressed, actually, in one way or another. So I'll skip through them. Ask if they know he's a devil worshiper. I think we already touched on the black magic thing. And the jar, the buried jar. That is a very interesting story.
That was a new story for myself and for Ron. That's a new one. Yeah, that's the first time Jim's told us about that jar. But him being a devil worshiper, that his own mother used to say that he worshipped the devil because of. Now, mind you, she's an old school lady, and it was a picture of, it was a velvet picture, and it was black and red, and it had a Black Panther on it. So she said that was a devil worshiping picture.
Right.
But
yeah,
he's wearing a pentagram around his neck, for criminy sakes. Come on now.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, to be fair, Vaughn just kind of makes it up as he goes, so it's good. He won't even name the gods he serves. He just, anyways. Will James face any charges for exposing his children to pornography? We kind of touched on that. We don't know really what's going on with that. Who is the executor of the will? We touched on that. We had Jim in. Is Irv facing troubles for the $30K he's stolen and can't repay? Is anyone behind the scenes telling Ma the truth about the children? I think we kind of touched on that, because Vaughn is accusing everybody of manipulating his mother by telling her the actual truth. And we've seen him do that before.
She She's also been seeing the YouTube videos, and from what Larry told me yesterday, Ma Helton said that she wants to go live.
Oh my God.
Stop this. Now, because she's normally in bed at about 8 o'clock, Larry said maybe I'll just go and record her and let her say her piece. And
I think that would be better, just because anybody has a right, and if you guys really wanted to, that's fine. But my whole thing is, I don't think she's a total mental facility, and I just personally wouldn't feel comfortable because people would say that I'm exploiting his mother and trying to.
That's where we've been debating this, but she has witnessed his videos. She's watched them, but with her, she's cried because it's broke her heart, the things that he said.
Mm-hmm.
I do know that she has visited Jim and Millie. I don't, a month ago or something. She's like, I love you guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm gonna, I have mixed feelings about putting her live on camera and stuff, just because
Right.
But I mean, if you guys felt that you wanted to record a brief statement or something and present it that way, and it's of her consent, and
right, well,
that's different. But I
can catch her on a good day when she's not so confused and she is herself.
Yeah, like if she's asking if her parents are still alive and stuff, I don't want any part of it because
I don't think Alice's parents. Alice has had more good days here recently, hasn't she?
91 years old. There's no parents.
She's doing apparently now that she's taken her medicine, she's getting she knows who people are. She's not as confused as what she was. Larry just told me that she's seen the video of where James says that mom doesn't do anything for me, and it broke her heart, and she's not happy with how he's going online saying the things that he's saying, and that's when she said, I want to go live. This has got to stop. And she's even told him for years, you need to stop going on there and making those videos. You're doing nothing but causing trouble for yourself. Here we are.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's move ahead. Have they ever seen him shoot any guns? After Mummy drove him home from the army, the firearms expert couldn't figure out how to work the action on a buddy's AR-15 in Hamilton. So have you ever actually seen him handle the firearms? Have you ever seen him actually shoot a gun?
I have not. No, neither has Ron. Larry, have you?
I've only seen him point a gun on the camera, but that's about
it. We've seen him pointed at a camera. We've all seen that video. But we have Larry said he heard him shoot at a 3-foot alien and miss. So
yeah, that's a story.
We've not seen this. We've never.
Right.
I mean, we've not seen any of that personally. No, we've heard him talk the talk, but walking the walk I highly doubt.
Yeah, I have a hard time. I think it would knock his shoulder right at a socket if the guy can barely walk across the trailer to do dishes.
I could probably outshoot him. Okay, and I haven't shot my gun in 2 years. I don't.
I could probably outshoot him, and I haven't shot. The only things I've shot is a 22 gauge, and that was back when I was a kid hunting with my grandpa. So I don't. But I miss stuff all the time. So let's skip through something pertinent. Somebody was asking if they put any more thought into having Andrea move back into the trailer with the kids. So no, I don't think that.
Andrea has told myself and Julia Friday night that her and her mother have just recently put a down payment on a house in Alabama, and they are content where they are. Andrea does have visitations with her children, all of them, the kids plus the new one. She has visitations with all of them, and I will say again for those who missed it, Andrea is thriving. Andrea is in college. Andrea is getting A's and B's in college. She's doing well.
Good for her. Somebody had a short video clip to play, but it's over on MeWe. I can't really access it right now. It's just him basically saying he's a Helton, not a Frost. So we all know that stuff.
Of course, he will always say he's a Helton and not a Frost. And yet again, his mother is a Frost, so therefore that does classify him as a Frost. Even though his name is Helton, there is Frost bloodline running through his wonderful little veins, whether he wants to admit it or not.
Well, he admits it when it's convenient, like when he brags that he's related to Robert Frost, but then claims he's not a Frost. So
because Robert Frost is on this Frost bloodline.
right.
We have the genealogical proof that Robert Frost is related to this bloodline.
Gotcha. And last question over on MeWe. Ask why Vaughn does not drink. There must be a backstory behind it. You'd think he would have a drink once in a while because of the rage and stress he is under all the time.
Why doesn't James drink? I
Can't afford it.
He can't. According to
Got
Jen,
no money.
well, according to
Mommy
Jen,
ain't gonna buy him no
no,
beer.
Mom's not gonna buy him no beer. She wouldn't allow. I don't think you're allowed to have alcohol on her property. She's against that, but that's neither here nor there. Jen has said that he's got money because he's flashed it down at the town market here recently. So I honestly don't know why he doesn't drink.
What's all of his non-haters?
What, Jen? He's smoking CBD vape pens. Okay.
I didn't know he was smoking CBD, but that doesn't get you high. I got to be honest. That doesn't.
No. See, I don't know any. Right. I don't know. I don't know anything about CBD oil. I have heard that it's supposed to help asthma patients, but I've not heard that personally.
Yeah, it's good for, bad joints. And I don't mean badly rolled joints. I mean your actual joints and stuff.
Right.
There's nothing in it that actually gets you high. So
I don't. I don't. That's a good question. Why he doesn't drink? I don't know. I've not heard any. Maybe it's just something he doesn't like to do. I know. I've tried drinking a beer too. I've tried drinking wine. I don't like the taste of it, so therefore I don't drink. But I don't. Larry said, "Give me some Jack." Ron says, "Give me some Crown Royal."
So according to someone just remind me, according to some friends of his, see, the reason Von Helton hates me so much, aside from just always making him look like an idiot, was years ago, friends of his from Hamilton, Ohio had a VHS tape of when they were hanging out in like 1987 when he claimed he was the Punisher. So I put the video up on the internet, and it's him saying he's not allowed to, or his mom won't let him buy a gun, right? And it made him look like a sissy. He's like 130 pounds soaking wet, right? So he's always denied this video and tried to make up all these excuses and stuff. But someone said there was a story that because he was basically the runt of the litter. Like he was the guy, he hung out at the peripheral of these guys and they kind of just laughed at him. And apparently they put some iguana shit and some marijuana and sold it to him. So that was always the big joke.
Don't know. I've never heard that one. So. I mean, he doesn't tell me very much of his stories, but the pictures that I've seen at Alice's, he was a very scrawny man. Very, very, of course, he was also poor health. And the heart condition that Marcy was talking about, or Ron's mom was talking about, he had what was called a hole in his heart. And the medical term would have been patent foramen ovale, because my oldest son had a patent foramen ovale, basically a hole in the heart.
Right.
Apparently his was bigger than they weren't sure if he would survive it, because actually all humans are born with a slight hole in the heart because the heart has to have room to grow and fill with your body, just along with the soft spot. But his did not, was bigger than what it should have been.
Right.
He was sickly. You didn't know that about him? Yeah, that is what was wrong with him, and she did pray over him. And so him being a sickly little child, and I know the last few times I was over, he was like, yeah, I'm finally putting some weight on, and I'm going, okay. Great.
Gotcha.
So I mean, now that to see him, he's put on a little bit too much weight to where it's not good for his.
No, he should be wearing a bra. Let's be honest; it's almost obscene that the man's not in a training bra or something, because it's getting out of hand here, folks. Getting out of hand. Okay. Well, is there anything? I'll give everybody their final piece. If Cousin Larry wants to say something, or
you want to say anything, Larry?
Larry's laughing. He said, not about training bras because I wear one too.
Okay, well, fair enough. Fair enough.
He's laughing. So, Jen, did you have anything else you wanted to say? Not at this. Jen said basically he's turning into the troll that he's always complaining about because his legs are swelling up and.
Well, he is a troll. Like, I mean, most of the things he accuses other people of, he's done. Right?
Exactly. And the stolen valor thing is one thing that really gets my goat, and any red-blooded patriotic American that would get their goat as well. Granted, I didn't serve in the military, but my father, my brother, my uncle, my husband, I mean, everybody several of my uncles,
Mhm.
I must have accidentally hit the button, Larry. Sorry. But yeah, the stolen valor thing is not cool. Not cool at all.
Right. Okay, JM Frost, you got anything you'd like to close with?
I'm excited to see what he's going to say to this.
No, I'm sure you'll have something to say.
And Larry said he will probably be posting something Thursday because there's a court date.
Yep.
Okay. Well, like I said, you guys are always welcome. Just reach out to me if you need to get on and have your say. Somebody wanted me, it said, would you mind asking if they would let us do a fishing expedition to Lake Alice sometime in the near future?
That would be nice. Is there any fish left in Lake Alice?
I'm sure.
Well, I think we're fishing for hard drives because we're pretty sure he's dumped some over there.
Hard drive. Okay. That's in about 2 years. Jen saying that she's got a waterproof camera. They're talking about going up there and dunking it in Lake Alice to see what they can see and find out. So So yeah, she's talking about because she's heard the same thing where there's hard drives in Lake Alice. So Alice is not 32 foot deep.
Jeepers.
Is it 35 foot? No.
It's not that deep.
Ron says it's only 12 because it's filled in with some of the sediment and
It's only about 12 foot.
no. Yeah. There's a discrepancy.
It's only about 12 foot.
Well, I remember when Johnny Bishop dug that puppy, it was probably a 12 foot, maybe 15 foot.
13 foot
before he hit a spring and had to pull out. Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah, we were there. We were there when Johnny Bishop was digging it.
Well, I think someone should have pulled out about 56 years ago, but that's where I'm going to leave it. Well, I think to end on it, let's end with a musical number by Mr. Von Helton. Something that he dedicated to the trolls, haters, and naysayers a number of years ago.
Oh, okay.
God's going to cut you down. I want to thank everyone for coming out, and thank you, Frost. And like I said, the platform's here if you need it. I leave that up to you. And just for the third time in this video, no, I do not coerce or I did not solicit these people. I did not offer them money. I did not seek them out in an attempt to dig up dirt on Von Helton. These were people that reached out and were looking for a platform because they're sick of being slandered. So
I reached out to Secular Opinion by my own volition, and no, I have not received any monies or monetary gain for this other than knowing the fact that I put the truth out there. That's my only gain out of it.
I do have a question. It's a little bit of a selfish question, but please indulge me. When the first time you came in before we went live and I talked to you for a few minutes the last time, you had asked if I was Secular Opinion and you kind of smirked and said you had heard of me. Now, has Von Helton ever mentioned me in real life? Or
yes, I have Secular Opinion's one of my trolls and haters and naysayers and da da da. And then I watched you in the geek room. I wouldn't even mind talking to the geek room if they had any questions for me.
Well, they're in the chat. They're in the chat.
They are? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have watched their videos and the only reason I sought you out was because Vaughn had mentioned you, and I've seen your videos, and I was like,
And then Larry knew who you were. I did not realize that what your handle was. He knew you by your name, and I'm going,
Mhm.
who the crap is that? And then when you got on there and it was you, I was like, yes, I got one of the dudes I wanted to tell the truth to. So
Okay, perfect. Well, I don't think I'm quite as evil as Von Helton makes out, so
I don't think so either.
there we go. And again, Von Helton was given the link. And the thing is, Von could say, well, I'm not going to go in there because Secular's a hater and this, that. The weird thing is he's come in my live streams before. And if anybody watches them, I am more than fair to Von Helton and moderate and give him time to talk. So this is bullshit if he ever says he thinks that I would be unfair to him. He would be he would be given his time. He doesn't like an environment where he doesn't have control. So if you say something he doesn't like, he can kick you and silence you.
out. Yes, it has to be on his way or no way, and that's just not how things work. The world does not revolve around Mr. Von Helton.
Thank you. And on that, let's play some music out. God's gonna cut you down.
Oh no.
I'm scared.
You can run on for a long time, run on for a long time, run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Go and tell that long-tongued liar. Go and tell that midnight rider. Tell the rambler, the gambler, the backbiter. Tell him that God's gonna cut him down. Tell him that God's gonna cut him down. Well, my goodness gracious, let me tell you the news. My head's been wet with the midnight dew. I've been down on bended knee, talking to the man from Galilee. He spoke to me in a voice so sweet, I thought I heard the shuffle of the angels' feet. He called my name and my heart stood still when he said, John, go do my will. Go and tell that long-tongued liar. Go and tell that midnight rider. Tell the rambler, the gambler, the backbiter. Tell him that God's gonna shut him down. Tell him that God's gonna shut him down. You can run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Tell him that God's gonna shut him down. Tell him that God's gonna shut him down. Well, you may throw your rock and hide your hand, working in the dark against your fellow man. But as sure as God made black and white, what's done in the dark will be brought to the light. You can run on for a long time, run on for a long time, run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Go and tell that long-tongued liar. Go and tell that midnight rider. Tell the rambler, the gambler, the backbiter. Tell him that God's gonna shut him down. Tell him that God's gonna shut him down. Tell him that God's gonna shut him down.
Thanks for coming out, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.